Hardik Patel giving very witty answers.
Yeah,
to
you
all the
had sharp
questions.
questions, Sherin.
Criticism
What's
against
interesting
BJP
is
till
that,
now.
as we said, 5 years is a very long time in politics. Just few months ago, he was the Congress working president of Gujarat. Now he is a BJP candidate. And 5 years ago, Zaka, he was an important factor, the Patidar factor.
Absolutely. This time around, if you go back and check, in 2017, the Patidar dominated seats, even though numerically they are about 10, 12, 15%, both Kadwa and Liwa put together, it's only about 40 seats. But what happened was the impact of it, the dominating the narrative, the news cycle, and of course you had that young leader in Hardik Patel back then. There was Alpesh Thakur, Jignesh Mawani. So this triumvirate of the Gujarat ke ladke. But out of those 39 seats, the BJP still managed to win 22 and the Congress 17. 7% vote share difference. But here in Saurashtra, that's where it made all the difference. This time around, the Congress may not get this. The BJP will inch a lot of lost territory, if you will, in Saurashtra. Urban constituencies, look at Ahmedabad. All of the Patidar-dominated seats won by the BJP. There were a few in North Gujarat, but I suspect the Patidar factor will not be as sharp as what it was in 2017.
So, if the Patidar factor has largely vanished from the scene in Gujarat, how and what is the factor then? What is it just about Narendra Modi, that preeminence and dominance of the Modi factor? Let me take that question to all the panelists who are joining us live. Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP, Mahima Singh representing the Congress, Prithvi Reddy, Aam Aadmi Party, Professor Nalin Mehta, Group Consulting Editor of Network 18, Advaita Kala, Rashid Kidwai, all with us. I'm going to begin with the woman on the panel. Advaita, what is it that you are going to watch out for in the second phase? Because the numbers are still trickling in.
Well, I think, frankly, like I've been saying all along, this has been so one-sided that we're going to have to actually dig to find issues and find things to analyze. I think importantly, one would like to see how the cooperative belt has done in this particular phase of the election, to see how they've voted, whether any of those factors that have been discussed have come into play or not. And secondly, of course, the voter turnout. Now, I think what's going to emerge from this election, seeing that it's the 7th time if the BJP wins, that it'll be in government again, I think we'll have to reanalyze voter turnout, which has traditionally meant that a lower voter turnout would mean that there is anti-incumbency. I think we have to look at it from the pro-incumbency lens. And I think that's going to be a new term that's going to gain a lot of currency in our analysis and in our conversations post this verdict.
I mean, 6 times of pro. How do you define that multiple pro-incumbency then? Nalin Mehta, time for a new lexicon in Indian politics and analysis as well?
Look, I think for a very long time in India, we had a thing that any government in power is liable to be voted out whenever elections come. Some states had that much more. Gujarat, pro-incumbency went away a long time ago. The BJP has been in power now for 3 odd decades now in Gujarat. In Himachal, we had a pattern where you had an alternative thing, which was also the case in Uttarakhand, which was broken. I think in many states now that pattern has been broken, fundamentally because the quality of governance is getting better. So it's not like any government who comes to power, therefore is bound to fail and therefore will get voted out. Fundamentally, because the matrices of how people evaluate what governments do is changing, there is better delivery on the ground, and therefore that older paradigm of anti-incumbency, which was the default reflex, if you like, that has changed.
Tom Vadakan ji, namaste. Mahima ji, namaste. Prithvi ji, namaste. And of course, namaste to our panelists, in-house panelists who've been there with us through the day, through the course of the day. Tom Vadakan ji, how are you looking at this election? How's the BJP looking at this election? The buzz is that about 50,000 calls were made over the last 4 or 5 hours to all parts of North and Central Gujarat, asking the voter, bahar nikal ke vote karo.
Well, I've just returned from the party headquarters, and I'd like to share with you the views expressed there. And one of the very interesting things about the Bharatiya Janata Party is the Panna Pramukh. The Panna Pramukh is better than any survey expert available in this country, because his reports are something you can depend on. Primarily, he gives you a picture of exactly what is happening at the ground. And this phone calls, yes, there has been this holiday mood. And, elections are also about celebration of democracy. I drew around a lot of places, but I found a lot of people on the road, not on the footpath. They were celebrating. Now, whether they went to the polling booth or not is another issue. But yes, there is celebration mood all round. And that is the strength of our democracy. And in Gujarat and the other states which we are contesting, reports coming from the Zilla, from the Panna Pramukh is extraordinarily in our favor. And I'm very proud of the fact that this is not about the election machine, like our leaders have been saying. This is about the commitment that we have to the people of this country, to the people of this state. We have that connect is established, and we don't need certificates on development. It's all over the place, and then this double engine mechanics is working. So,
Well,
I mean, there's nothing to
right now,
compete.
what seems to be the case is that the Prime Minister, it's a rough calculation, has spent 25 days, 25 important days championing the cause of the BJP in Gujarat. He's the son of the soil. He's the boy who everybody has seen grown and rise in stature, and also he is now to a certain level adulation as Vada Pradhan. But how long will he shoulder this is a question. Now, will the voter come out to vote for the BJP or for Modi? That's another question. But Mahimaji, for the Congress party, 2017 was 99 out of, bringing the BJP to 99, the Congress going to 77. 77 से 92 का रूट रास्ता 5 साल में तो नप जाना चाहिए. इस साल नपेगा.
Good evening, all of you, and good evening to our viewers. And as you question me that, and as you hold this debate, I am reminded of these lines by Shiv Mangal Singh Suman. क्या हार में क्या जीत में किंचित नहीं भयभीत में संघर्ष पथ पर जो मिले ये भी सही वो भी सही. These are the sides of two coins, victory and defeat. And as we are discussing this today, I think the people of Gujarat, although the voter turnout has been disappointing, as if you've already presented in your prelude to the program today, but I feel that the Gujarat population, the voter of the Gujarat, has voted against the inflation. They have voted against the unemployment. They have voted for women's security. They have remembered Bilkis Bano while voting today. They have remembered Morbi Bridge while voting today. However, the breach of model code of conduct was done this morning by the person at the helm of democracy, who's responsible actually to protect the democracy. But we saw a road show this morning, and I don't know, how is one supposed to justify that?
महिमा जी, ये सवाल आपसे और पृथ्वी रेड्डी दोनों से है. ये बोला जा रहा है that as far as this election is concerned, this is about choosing or electing the opposition in Gujarat, not as much about who will be, running the state, or government नहीं choose कर रहा है ये चुनाव opposition choose कर रहा है. पृथ्वीराज जी?
Yeah, it's Prithvi Reddy. Thank you for having me. Number one, I think this is the first time that elections are being fought on real issues. I think we've taken the fight to the BJP camp in Gujarat. First time after 40 years in politics, Mr. Amit Shah was forced to go and inaugurate a classroom. Suddenly, Bijli, Pani, schools and hospitals are becoming mainstay issues. Since 2002, probably 2 elections were fought purely on divisive issues of religion, and then it was the caste issues which took the main stage. I think this election is being fought between 2 development models. One is the Gujarat model, which was sold to the country with a beautiful packaging,
Mr. Reddy,
which has been exposed, and now
I was on ground
Gujarat
for a
voters,
few days. I'm just trying to understand from you, is there a sense within the Aam Aadmi Party that perhaps they peaked too soon? That it was more sound? That the entire campaign was about sound rather than having boots on ground? That it's about ensuring that you have booth management? That's where the Aam Aadmi Party did not have that strength, the strength of an organization.
Absolutely. So we are not having any tall claims. Let me tell you, this election is being fought between the BJP and the upset voter in Gujarat, who today has a viable option. As far as the issues go, I think people are relating to our issues. And if these weren't touching people on the ground and the voters were relating to this, let's not kid ourselves. Mr. Modi would not have done a 50-kilometer rally. The BJP is scared, and I believe that the results on 8th are going to give a lot of shock to people who are taking things for granted,
Well,
and specifically those who have the arrogance to
Prithviji,
say, in an election, I think no one has a business to say that this is not about who's going to form government. It's about the who's forming opposition.
Mahima ji ने कुछ कहा, मैं भी कहता हूँ कि many would, when you said that the BJP is running scared that the Prime Minister had to do a road show, many would turn around and say, दिल बहलाने के लिए ये ख्याल भी अच्छा है, because he did the road show in Varanasi and everybody said in Uttar Pradesh at that time, Rashid Kidwai, everybody said, oh, the BJP is running scared, 8 में से सारी सीटें जा रही है, that's why the Prime Minister is there. But the BJP was scripting history. The result showed a totally different turn of what happened. And somebody's commitment can be seen as insecurity or perhaps absolute dedication. It's how you would want to see it.
25 days of the Prime Minister.
It's how you'd want to see it. Either you take a campaign seriously or you don't. You take a campaign seriously or you don't. Now, Tom Vadakan, I'll come to you after Rashid Kidwai. Yes, Rashid Kidwai.
I think Anand, this kind of zeal or this kind of determination and hard work, it is to be admired, and a lot of political parties need to learn a thing or two from this. But I think the story of Panna Pramukhs is always either it's exaggerated or it's very fanciful. If by your admission, Anand, if there is a 82 lakh, Panna Pramukhs, they are there in Gujarat, they should be winning, 3/4 of majority. If there is every third voter is a Panna Pramukh, then either the Panna Pramukh is failing to attract another voter or two voters, or it's the BJP is going to sweep elections. And we have this MCD election in Delhi. I mean, Panna Pramukhs were there, active there also. The outcome will show that, as it happened in Bengal and Delhi Assembly elections, etc. So I think political parties fight election with zeal, with program, package, leadership. It's a complex thing, and we cannot attribute it to just one factor alone.
Well, each one will champion their own aspect. Quick word, Tom Vadakan, before we shift the focus towards Himachal. Yes.
My friend Rashid Kidwai is an old Congress expert, and I don't deny his knowledge and in-depth understanding of the Congress party. But yes, Rashid, this is a different ball game, which the Congress party has never understood. When you talk about the Panna Pramukh, their kind of commitment is not something you can buy or sell. These are people who are committed and go down to the grassroots talking about the development, the agenda, the programs of the party. These are not some kind of paid agents like they have in the Congress. These are people who are 24/7 committed to the party, and that's the difference, Rashid. I mean, that's
whether they are able to deliver is what Rashid Kidwai is asking. I'm just going to quickly move and show you the national picture and set it up before we head towards Himachal, because Himachal exit poll results should win at this point. And how is that state going to vote will be very, very critical, and what the result is, because both sides are claiming numbers. Both sides are saying we will do it. Historically, it is a PK Dhumal versus Veerbhadra Singh, Congress, BJP, and they keep alternating. Is that going to happen? The national picture for the BJP, what does this mean? Is Modi magic continuing to cast a spell? Is one big question that comes to the fore. The other one, semi-final, to set the tone for the 2024 battle. Gujarat won solidly. Will that be the story? And that sets it up as we build up to Lok Sabha 2024. 10 assembly elections which will be counted. All of that will matter. For the Congress, first big test of under Mallikarjun Kharge, a non-Gandhi party president. Well, we'll have to see how much of it goes to him, or will it be from here on? Can Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra translate into words? He was busy walking all across Bharat, stayed away from Gujarat. Will it help the Congress, hurt it? We have to wait and watch. Aam Aadmi Party, one, will be hoping to pull off another Punjab. Remember, in 2017, they came up with a strong performance on ground, making a lot of noise in Punjab, and then they gained later on, the next time around. Will they try and do that again this time? Is that what they're planning to do? We'll have to see. Winning will also bolster the case to lead the opposition, and that the Aam Aadmi Party is fast becoming. What a story it would be for the AAP, that within a decade, they have become a party with a national presence, with governments in 2 states, within a decade of their existence. A case study in itself, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like or not. Akash is joining us from Himachal. Akash, where are you?
So Anand, I'm reporting from outside CM's residence at this point in time, and yes, I'm feeling the breeze, but as far as these parties are concerned, so they are quite confident, and सरकार नहीं रिवाज बदलेंगे, इस बार सरकार नहीं रिवाज बदलेंगे was the nara of the BJP, but on the other hand, Congress is saying that this time pattern will repeat. They'll repeat the same pattern as it has been repeated from last 40 years, and they are saying that they are going to be back in the government. And in fact, Anand, the interesting point is that even before the results, we have an ongoing race for the next CM, post-CM name. And this is the reason why we are learning that, MLAs have started writing. In fact, I should say that, possible MLAs have started writing letters saying that, I can be the name, I can be the name. Also, I had a word with some leaders of the Congress party, and they are saying that, they are going to win, and not just win, they'll get thumping majority this time. And also because they have promises like OPS, women empowerment, and employment for youth, and that's the reason why they are believing that this time they are going to win the state.
Akash, before I bring in the guests, I want to understand from you, कितनी ठंड है शिमला में? बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा है.
Well, हमारे यहाँ temperatures are going 2 degree and 1 degree. In fact, we have been given to understand. And since I'm coming from Delhi, so we are experiencing 8 degrees Celsius there as well. But here, I'm being told that we are recording 1 degree Celsius here. So you can, assume that what kind of breeze and what kind of season we have here.
Yes, and Chief Minister is very much inside his residence, and as far as other Congress leaders are concerned, they are busy writing letters. But Advaita, isn't it similar to what we heard in the case of Uttarakhand? That leaders had started the preparations. This preparation that had started in the Congress camp.
Absolutely. I think Himachal is going to be far more interesting from a political analysis point of view than Gujarat. I think there's more of a fight there. They've traditionally flipped from the Congress to the BJP and back again. This is an interesting time. I did travel in Himachal this time around and spoke with people in the way that I do. And I think what one gleaned from that the Congress definitely has a presence in the upper reaches and has a lot of support over there. Also, the disadvantage for them this time round is the fact that their stalwart leader is no more, Veerbhadra Singh. However, it was interesting to see that he was most predominant in all the posters.
Yes.
So they're definitely banking on his legacy to bring them back to par. The BJP, of course, has had a CM who has lasted the full term, unlike Uttarakhand, where we saw a change of chief ministers. So there's been stability in leadership, and there hasn't been any big scandal. So I think those two factors do work for the BJP, that there hasn't been anything that has really rocked the boat. But there's also an issue of rebel candidates who are standing up as independent candidates and who will kind of, make it a lot more interesting post-result government formation analysis time.
Okay, before I bring in Mahima, I want to understand from you, Zaka, what is giving Congress that confidence?
So, 2 factors. One is, of course, what Advaita was talking about, the rebel vote. Remember, last time only 3 independents, people who were possibly denied tickets, they won. And less than 10% vote share. This time, by the most conservative estimates, that there's anywhere between 12 to 15 rebels. From both parties, by the way. Both from BJP, folks who were denied tickets, and also from Congress who were denied tickets. So, even if, let's say, 10 of these people win, you are looking at the possibility of neither party, neither BJP nor Congress, being able to form government. Remember, in 2017, it was a clean sweep for the BJP. It was 44 to 21. Even though the vote share difference was only about 7%, it was almost twice. In fact, BJP had more than twice the number of seats as the Congress did. And similar was the case in 2012 as well. It was the opposite picture, the Congress winning big in that election, 36 to the BJP's 26, even though the vote share difference was only about 4% or so. But there again, look at this figure. I think this figure is something that we're going to pay very close attention to. In the 2017 election, when the BJP swept, this figure was only 9%. This time around too, I suspect that this figure of others, the vote share of the third party, as it were, or independents, that is going to be substantially higher than 9%. Perhaps even the number of people who will win will be more than the 3 who won last time around, and that could possibly be a deciding factor.
And one face which was present and dominated the posters of the Congress party was late Veerbhadra Singh, 7-time Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh. His wife, Pratibha, is the state president of the Congress party. She has spoken to us. Let's listen in.
कितना कॉन्फिडेंट है, कितनी सीटें आ रही हैं कांग्रेस की?
हम लोग बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है और हमें पक्का और पूर्ण विश्वास है कि इस बार कांग्रेस सरकार बनेगी हिमाचल प्रदेश में और हम भारी बहुमत से जीत कर आएंगे। बीजेपी
लगातार ये कह रही है कि कांग्रेस में तो लॉबिंग अभी से शुरू हो गई है, सरकार बनना तय है नहीं, लेकिन पहले से लोग सीएम पद के लिए दावेदारी ठोक रहे हैं।
मैं श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी की आभारी हूँ कि उन्होंने मुझे प्रदेश का अध्यक्ष बनाया। जो जिम्मेवारी उन्होंने दी उसको मैंने बहुत निष्ठा और ईमानदारी के साथ निभाया। इस बार भी जब उपचुनाव होना था तो हाईकमांड का निर्देश था ना, हाईकमांड ने मुझे कहा कि आप इलेक्शन लड़िए और मैंने चुनाव में उतरकर, जबकि ये सीट हम 4.25 लाख वोटों से हार चुके थे, उसको कवर करना और बढ़त लेना एक बहुत बड़ी बात थी। जबकि केंद्र में भी बीजेपी की सरकार और हिमाचल प्रदेश में भी बीजेपी की सरकार, मुख्यमंत्री जयराम जी मंडी से, ऐसी परिस्थिति में चुनाव लड़ना एक असंभव कार्य था। पर लोगों के प्यार ने, लोगों के विश्वास ने, लोगों की एक श्रद्धा भाव जो इस परिवार के प्रति है, उन्होंने मुझे इस चुनाव को जितवाया, जिसकी वजह से हमारे कांग्रेस पार्टी में एक जान पड़ी।
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first set of numbers are out. Let's have a look. It's Himachal that are coming out, and it was many people thought that this is what will happen. Have a look at this. So these are the 2017 results, if you were to see, and this is what PMark as of now is predicting. BJP 34 to 39 seats, Congress 28 to 33, and Aam Aadmi Party 0 to 1 possibility. 1 to 4 seats is going to the independents or the others. So. रिवाज नहीं बदला, सरकार नहीं बदली, रिवाज बदल दिया. That's what's happening. There's another one. So this is what it's predicting. 44 seats were there in 2017. This time PMark is saying 34 to 39 seats. There are some other numbers also which are slowly coming in, and we had expected Himachal numbers to come out first ahead of Gujarat, and somewhere the PMark numbers once again clearly giving it to the BJP, but not by that significant drop.
34 is the exact halfway
mark.
So
yeah.
34 to 39 on the lower end at least, it is the halfway mark. On the higher end, of course, a cushion of about 4, but not the kind of cushion that the BJP had in 2017. So it's still, I think, anybody's game as far as Himachal
But
is
Zaka,
concerned.
interestingly, it's similar to what we saw in Uttarakhand. In
Yes.
Uttarakhand also, the exit pollsters were very careful in terms of giving the numbers. They had chosen the middle path.
Yeah, but eventually when the numbers came,
Yes.
it was an
Invariably, you
outright
would say if
sweep
you
for
say a 34 to 39 halfway plus 5, that means you're giving the government to them.
Yeah,
and
yeah, of course. Of course.
But only just.
Yeah.
Somewhere you would say only just at 34,
And then
37
the
seats would be only just.
Others become important then. 1 to 4, which is the rebel factors, most of them move towards the party in power.
Party in power, Aam Aadmi Party 0 to 1, what is the vote share? Because many believe that it is the AAP that helped the BJP in Uttarakhand, because they took about 8 to 10% of the vote share, if I remember correctly, and that made a significant difference. This time around, how active were they in Himachal, or halfway through did they decide to focus their energies in Gujarat? That will also be critical. Nalin Mehta, have you been looking at Himachal as closely as Advaita Kala was watching Uttarakhand?
Well, Advaita knows a thing or two about hill state, but I think Himachal is a close fight. There's no question about it. You speak to anybody in the BJP, you will find huge confidence and huge optimism when you hear about Gujarat. The conversation on Gujarat is very different from the conversation on Himachal. In Himachal, it is Sarkar hamari hi banegi, lekin it's not with a resounding thing. And it's early days. We have to wait and see what the other exit polls are saying. But just going by the first one, this is more or less par for course on what a lot of people are expecting in Himachal. Again, because it's a two-party state, even a small even small differences in vote share can have huge impact on the seat share. So Himachal is a close fight.
Let's stay with the development. The numbers are coming in, so please regret if I am interrupting you, because the Jan Ki Baat numbers have just come. So Jan Ki Baat numbers have come, projections have come from Gujarat. And it's a runaway victory for the BJP, way clear of the halfway mark of 92. And this time around, here are how the numbers are looking. The numbers are saying Jan Ki Baat coming out and saying a band of 117 to 140. Quite a huge band, but a big jump up from the 99 of 2017. So 117 to 140, Sarkar comfortably of the BJP. And if it is closer to the 140 number, it will be BJP's best ever. It will not be the best ever in Gujarat. That is Madhav Singh Solanki in 1985, 149 seats. This will be 140 seats. 6 to 13 seats for the Aam Aadmi Party. And where will they be breaching the bastion of? Clearly, those seats are being pulled away by the BJP and the AAP from the Congress Party, which is at 34 to 51 compared to 77 seats the last time around. So this is the first big Gujarat number that's come through at this point. Oh, one more. Okay, let's move away from Gujarat and come back to, let's look at the ETG Himachal number. So back to Himachal, and this time around, this is Jan Ki Baat. So we'll just refresh that number and call out the graphic again and put it out for our viewers. The ETG Himachal numbers have come through at this point. This is the Jan Ki Baat number. We'll pull this out. This is Gujarat, but we're given to understand that the Himachal numbers have also come. We'll go back to that. That's a live scenario. Numbers are coming in thick and fast. The ETG Himachal numbers are also now, perhaps, we're given to understand, giving the government to the BJP. So the ETG Himachal numbers are saying 38. So 38 to the BJP. And it's there at the bottom of your screens right now as we are putting out 38 to the BJP. That's the number. 28 to the Congress Party. No seats for the AAP. 2 for the independents. Once again, like you said, borderline, only just safe, but 4 seats clear. So comfortable.
Not in the 40s. I think the difficulty in small states, and particularly in this election in Himachal, is how do you factor in the rebels, the independents, the people who were denied tickets? How do you factor both their vote share and their seats? If any poll gets that right, then it's easier to get the bigger parties right. But we'll have to wait and see which of them is getting that part right.
But it also shows it's not a three-way fight, Maria.
It's
again a two-party fight. Absolutely. Like in Gujarat we are seeing, and like in Himachal we are seeing, it's two-party fight.
It was quite surprising. I don't think Kejriwal went to Himachal maybe once or twice.
Maybe once or twice,
that's it. Yes. I don't think he ever went to Himachal. But Gujarat, he was there virtually like twice or thrice a week. So clearly there was something up there, because the conventional wisdom is AAP is a new entrant, it'll do better in smaller states. Look at how much he went to Goa and Uttarakhand. I don't think he spent as much time in Himachal for sure. Certainly in Gujarat, he spent a lot of time.
Now, Himachal, Jan Ki Baat. Jan Ki Baat is the first time, I think, one of the first exit pollsters who's turning around and saying that the BJP could struggle, fall too short of majority. In Himachal, at 32 is the lower band. And at the higher band, way comfortable with 6 seats clear at about,
that's a huge
at
range,
40. Yeah, but Jan Ki Baat generally gives themselves quite a bit of a range, because they believe a 1 or 2% vote share shift here and there could translate into change of the seats.
In this number, I mean, at the lower end for the BJP and the higher end for the Congress will form government.
Yeah.
At the higher end for the BJP and the lower end for the Congress, the BJP will form the government. So I think it's a wide range.
It'll be a fight for the others.
But in both the cases, the Aam Aadmi Party is getting 0. The others, which will be largely the rebels, are in that range of 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Vote share खींचेगा, seat नहीं मिलेगा. That will be the story for the Aam Aadmi Party in Himachal. As for the Jan Ki Baat polls, there are others who believe AAP will breach the leaderboard, get in there, but in single digits, 2-3 seats, some giving them 4 seats, not more than that. Higher average was there. One of the pollsters said that the AAP could get up to 13 seats. That was PMark, who turned around and said they could get about 13 seats. Whether they'll get those seats, we'll have to see. TV9 survey has also come in. TV9 survey says BJP, Gujarat, 125 to 130 seats. So the numbers are coming in thick and fast. But clearly, one trend that we are seeing, Maria, is that the BJP is taking both states.
Yes.
Yeah.
Overall, if you were to see that the BJP and Gujarat comfortably could be their best ever performance is what we are looking at. If you look at the numbers, 127, if I remember correctly, is their highest.
Yes, that was 2002.
Yeah, and two pollsters have already given the fact that they could breach not just 130, but also get up to 140. So best ever after 2.5 decades.
I think one important factor that we need to underline is that the 99 that they got in 2017 is the floor. It's a question of how far up from the floor can they go. Can they go up 10 seats from 99 or can they go 40 seats from 99? I think that's really the only question in Gujarat. I don't think there's a question
But
of...
Siddhant Mishra is with Harsh Sanghvi. Yes, Siddhant.
Yes.
Home Minister of Gujarat,
Yes,
incumbent.
Anand, Harsh Sanghvi is here, and in fact, he can listen you directly. You can take questions directly.
नमस्ते हर्ष, आप कैसे हैं? सूरत में आपसे बातचीत हुई थी, आपने कहा था पिच साफ है, हम अच्छी बैटिंग करेंगे. अब तक पोलस्टर्स कह रहे हैं बीजेपी अच्छी बैटिंग कर रही है.
देखिए दर्शक सब ये वक्त एक नया इतिहास का साक्षी बनने वाले हैं. मैंने आपको तभी भी बताया था, आप सूरत के मेहमान बने थे और गुजरात पूरा मजामा है. और सबसे पहले तो मैं लोकशाही के ये उत्सव को, जिस प्रकार से गुजरात के लोगों ने पिछले कई दिनों से ये चुनाव को और खूबसूरत बनाया है और मजबूत बनाया है लोकशाही के पर्व को. गुजरात में चारों और पक्ष हो, विपक्ष हो या फिर निर्दलीय हो, सभी प्रत्याशियों को खुले मन से अपनी बात रखने का अवसर मिला है. सभी मतदाताओं को खुले मन से अपनी समस्याओं बताने का एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिला है. और इलेक्शन कमीशन को खास तौर पे मैं आज अभिनंदन देना चाहता हूं और गुजरात के एक नागरिक के तौर पे मैं उनका आभार मानता हूं. एक क्लीन इलेक्शंस उन्होंने गुजरात में ये वक्त कंडक्ट किए, उसके लिए पूरी
अभी
टीम को
नंबर्स
अभिनंदन
भी
देता हूं.
अभी आ ही रहे हैं. ओवरऑल जो वोटिंग परसेंटेज है वो इतना इंथुजियाज्म क्यों नहीं दिख रहा है? क्या भाजपा अपने जो सपोर्टर्स हैं, वोटर्स हैं, उनको निकालने में सफल नहीं रही?
मुझे एक बात आज भी समझ में नहीं आई कि एग्जिट पोल्स में जब भाजपा के नंबर बढ़ रहे हैं, आप भी बोल रहे हो, दूसरी चैनल्स भी बोल रही है, जमीन पे भी लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी और गुजरात की जनता के संबंध को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं. कहीं ना कहीं आप ये देखिए कि कांग्रेस ने उसकी जमीन क्यों छूट गई है. कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ता जमीन पे नहीं दिखे. कहीं ना कहीं कांग्रेस के जो ट्रेडिशनल वोटर्स थे उसको बाहर निकालने में कांग्रेस ने सफलता प्राप्त नहीं कर पाई. उसके कारण कहीं ना कहीं कुछ विधानसभा ऐसी है जहाँ पे 2-3% मतदान कम हुआ है. लेकिन अगर आप ज़्यादातर विधानसभाओं में देखोगे तो वहाँ पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता ज़मीन पे हाजिर थे और ज़मीन पे काम करने वाले ये सभी कार्यकर्ताओं ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी और गुजरात के नागरिकों का ये संबंध आगे बढ़ाया है. ये एक नया इतिहास लिखने जा रही है गुजरात की जनता. और मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये एग्जिट पोल्स के जो नंबर है वो आज भी कंजर्वेटिव है. इससे भी ज्यादा गुजरात की जनता एक नया इतिहास लिखने वाली है.
आप ये कह रहे हैं हर्ष कि अभी तक 3 पोलस्टर्स ने आपको 130 से ज्यादा सीटें दी हैं हायर एवरेजेस में. आप ये कह रहे हैं ये भी कंजर्वेटिव है क्योंकि 130 भी बीजेपी का बेस्ट होगा.
ऑफ कोर्स ये भी कंजर्वेटिव है. आनंद जी, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, गुजरात की जनता ने, ये देश तोड़ने वाले लोगों ने जिस प्रकार से गुजरात में मैन्युपुलेट करने की जो कोशिश की, गुजरात की धरती को बदनाम करने की जिस प्रकार से कोशिश की, भारतीय जनता पार्टी और गुजरात की जनता ने ये वक्त हर एक फैसले एकदम जबरदस्त लिए हैं. गुजरात की जनता ने निर्णय कर लिया है और रिजल्ट 8वीं तारीख को सबके सामने आ जाएगा.
6:45 बज रहे हैं.
गुजरात की जनता और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने लिख लिया है.
6:45 बज रहे हैं. तो मैं आपसे जानना चाहूंगा, कंजर्वेटिव एस्टिमेट आप कह रहे हैं 130-140 है, आपका ऑप्टिमिस्टिक एस्टिमेट क्या है?
देखिए, हम सब आपके साक्षी बन रहे हैं. कहीं ना कहीं मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि 8वीं तारीख को 12 बजे तक ये इतिहास बदल जाएगा. एक नया इतिहास लिखा जाएगा और वो नया इतिहास होगा. ये कोई सत्ता का इतिहास के बारे में मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं बात कर रहा हूँ दिल के संबंधों के इतिहास के बारे में. हम एक नया ये संबंधों के इतिहास तोड़ने जा रहे हैं और नया इतिहास लिखने जा रहे हैं. शायद ही कोई राज्य के अंदर इतने सालों तक इस प्रकार के जुड़ाव वाले संबंध कोई पार्टी और उनकी जनता के रहे होंगे।
आप इशारा
मोदी जी
150
और
पार
भाजपा
कर रहे हैं।
जनता के संबंध को 27 साल से भी आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
ये 27 साल का संबंध आगे बढ़ने वाला है और वही इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं सारे पोलस्टर्स भी हर्ष जी। लेकिन मेरा आखिरी सवाल आपसे ये होगा कि आप कांग्रेस के प्रवक्ताओं को और उनको क्या कहेंगे जो ये बोलते हैं कि मोदी जी ने 50 किलोमीटर का रोड शो किया, फिर अगले दिन और रोड शो किया, 25 दिन गुजारा उन्होंने गुजरात में, अमित शाह जी वहां पर थमे रहे, ये सब साइन नर्वसनेस था।
देखिए, हमने कहा ना बोला था राहुल गांधी ना आए, वो राहुल गांधी जी को बुला ले, हम कहा ना बोलते, हमारी 10 सीट और ज्यादा आ जाती, हम ना नहीं बोलते कभी भी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता है मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी ये देश के गृह मंत्री होने के बावजूद भारतीय जनता पार्टी के एक एक कार्यकर्ताओं को मिलते हैं। ये कार्यकर्ता की भावना है, ये कांग्रेस की घिसी पिटी कैसेट है। चुनाव हारते नजर आते ही वो लोग कहीं ना कहीं बहाना, जिस दिन पहले फेज की वोटिंग चल रही थी तब से उनके ईवीएम मशीन के लिए कहीं ना कहीं बहाने निकाल रहे थे। मैं अभी कांग्रेस के एक प्रवक्ता को कोई चैनल पे सुन रहा था, वो बोल रहे थे 150 सीट के बाद राहुल गांधी जी सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं। मैं समझ ही नहीं पा रहा हूँ कि कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं में इस प्रकार की बौखलाहट कहाँ से आती है।
हर्ष जी, आपके चेहरे से, आपके हाव भाव से बताया जा रहा है, लग रहा है कि जो रिपोर्ट आपके पास आई है बहुत अच्छी आई है। आपको ऑल द बेस्ट। 8 तारीख को आपसे फिर भेंट होगी। थैंक यू वेरी वेरी मच। Let's quickly get a move on. Lots of numbers have come in. Let's call them out, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, the TV9 survey, this is how it looks like. Look at the jump that it is pointing to. The TV9 survey is pointing to compared to what it was in 2017. 99 to 125, 130. At a time when the BJP should be facing anti-incumbency at its peak, nearly 2 decades plus in power. It's a massive pro-incumbency wave that we are witnessing as per these pollsters. And it's a slide for the Congress. The AAP gains from it. There are others who gain from it. Big numbers, Zaka, as we look at the polls. There's quickly just put out TV9 survey, Jan Ki Baat, and then, of course, you have PMark, which not only put out the Himachal numbers, it's also put out the Gujarat numbers. And it's a nearly 150 number that it's calling. So it starts with the best ever for the BJP here. 127 से आगे 128 to 148.
Breaking that record.
That's a record in itself, because if it is 148, it's near to Madhav Singh Solanki's 149, closer to that 150 number. This is big, Zaka. It's a runaway win that everybody's predicting for the BJP.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, 59 that they got last time is only the floor. How far up can they go from that? So if you were to put those 3 surveys that have come up, the lowest end of the band is 117 and the highest end is 148. That's right? I hope I've got these numbers right. Between 117 to 148. So basically, the question is whether it's going to be a 16-17 seat jump for the BJP, or is it going to be a 40 to 50 seat jump for the BJP? And I think the Congress figure has also fallen. What used to be 77, I think the highest figure that I saw was somewhere in the range of 50, not more than that. And the lowest figure was somewhere in the range of 30. So basically, you had another 20 to 40 seat fall for the Congress. And that has directly jumped as far as the BJP is concerned. So the third party, which of course was very active on social media and stuff, I'm not sure they will get to double digits. At least if you were to go by the exit poll figures, a bulk of the fight is still primarily between the BJP and the Congress. The third parties have been relegated or designated to just single digits.
Let's just look at all 3 pollsters together and these 3 numbers together. Now, Zaka, you said the lowest number, you were right, 117 for the BJP. The highest number or band is 148. So anywhere between 130, 135 seats, somewhere that's where it settles as far as the median is concerned. The Congress party, 30. Highest is 51. So 30 to 50 is that band, again about 40 seats. Traditionally, the Congress has always held sway over at least 40 seats. How they build over that and whether or not the BJP has done its job, that's what looks at its accruals or further gains. The AAP, 6 or 13 is the maximum. So double digits, if it could breach, it will be a big story for it. And then, of course, the minimum is 2 seats. So at least it will get onto the leaderboard is what the pollsters are saying. So it will not be just pinching vote share. It will pinch a few seats too. Waracha is one of the seats in South Gujarat in the Surat region, which has been spoken about, where the AAP could actually break into the leaderboard. Others, 1 to 7 seats. That's where, or 0 to.
Congress is rather interesting. It's from 30 to 51, Zaka.
Yeah, so it's about a 21 seat range. So, I mean, like I said, Congress had 77 last time. So the question is, will they fall down by 20 or will they fall down by 40?
40.
Because here again, let's have that 4-column graphic back. If you look at it, it's the exact same proportion of the fall of the Congress will be mirrored in the rise of the BJP. Which is why I keep saying, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party, yes, they ran a great campaign, they were very active on social media, but that doesn't necessarily translate into seats. Maybe a handful of seats, maybe about half a dozen if they are lucky, a dozen if they are really, really lucky. But I don't think you're going to see anywhere close to, you know, AAP replacing the Congress as the principal opposition.
They didn't get there to get into Gujarat to replace the Congress. They wanted to make an entry and settle them. See, it's similar to Punjab, what they did. 2016, 2017, at that time when they went in, they were nowhere, but they were able to establish their presence. All the votes.
But remember, in Punjab, in the last election in 2017, they were already the #2 party.
That's right.
They had displaced the Akali Dal. So they were basically, you know, usurping the Akali vote in Punjab, and that's how they gained.
But now, in the opposition space, they are still #2.
No,
So
in
they
the
have not
opposition
managed-
space,
yes,
they're
yes,
#2. So,
yes.
I mean, the point
So
I'm
they have
making
not-
is,
yes, I
if the
agree.
AAP has to grow in
Yes.
Gujarat, it has to be
Yeah,
at
the
the expense of the Congress.
Congress, yes.
I'm
Will
not
they
seeing
do-
evidence of that yet.
Will they do it in the next 5 years? We'll have to wait and watch. But the AAP will take it a story saying that now I'm present not just in 2, but I'm present in 3 states.
They are
And
already in Goa.
now this is Himachal. Let's quickly bring in Himachal, move out from Gujarat and look at Himachal. So 3 pollsters, PMark, ETG and Jan Ki Baat. In Himachal again, 32 is the lower band for the BJP and 40 is the higher band. So it's an 8-seat band, but they are within vicinity of forming government. Even in that scenario where they could just fall short as far as the Jan Ki Baat survey is concerned, they still have the opportunity to just make to that halfway mark. It will be a mad scramble. But for the Congress party, it's only one pollster in Jan Ki Baat which has put them bang on the halfway mark at 34 at the higher band, and the lower band is about 27. Interesting that the AAP, most of the pollsters believe, will not break into the leaderboard here, Zaka.
Much like what we saw in Uttarakhand. I think they did put a lot more effort in Uttarakhand, but in Himachal, like I said, I can hardly remember the last time Kejriwal was there. He must have gone once, at best twice. He was always in Gujarat at least 2 or 3 times a week. Here again, I think it's safe to say that all 3 exit pollsters are saying that the BJP will take that state. The question is, by what margin? Will it be a 4-5 seat comfortable margin, or will they be scrambling around that halfway mark of 34, 35? And will they need the help of some of these independents? And like Maria said, the independents, whoever wins, will tend to sort of gravitate towards the ruling party, in this case the BJP, whoever is at pole position. But I think, and I'd like to add this caveat, in small states, what the pollsters get wrong most often is the others category. And that's what they got wrong in Uttarakhand, which is why, you know, the win of the BJP, everyone was saying a similar picture in Uttarakhand as well. It'll be neck and neck, you know, BJP will be just about there and so will Congress. But eventually when the results came, BJP was very, very comfortable. I think it was 40-45 seats that the BJP had won eventually in that state. What they underestimated was the rebel factor and the fact that the rebels would eat into the BJP's vote. That did not happen in Uttarakhand. In Himachal, let's see.
Well, one more pollster has got the numbers for Himachal Pradesh, and it is Zee Himachal. Zee Himachal has put out the numbers for the state, and once again, it's comfortably giving government to the BJP at this point. The numbers very clearly show 35 to 40 seats, 20 to 25 for the Congress, 0 to 3 and 1 to 5. Compare that to the 2017 results. Is there a bit of an attrition for the BJP? Yes, but are they still beyond the halfway mark? Yes. So once again, the trend largely, Zaka and Maria, is that the BJP is in a position to form government. They will hold on.
Yes,
and that means Sarkar nahi badlegi, Riwaz badlega. That is happening. But again, the Aam Aadmi Party's effort in Himachal is not pulling away. It's not showing.
With the arrest of Satyendra Jain, the entire in Himachal and the push in Himachal changed. Zaga, and also in Gujarat, I was there for 5 days. I did not hear the Aam Aadmi Party factor. Perhaps Surat local body elections may be be seen as an aberration now. 20 seats, 27% vote, but that will be seen as a very localized election, and also perhaps people wanted to send a message that abhi assembly hone wala hai, aap apne sare, you know, you get your boxes right, correct?
And it's the Congress which is the story.
Which is the story.
You know, Rahul Gandhi started that big rally in Himachal, you know, and there was talk about.
And Priyanka was extensively campaigning.
Priyanka was campaigning there.
Yes.
The sentiment factor, because traditionally Himachal has been P.K. Dhumal versus Veerbhadra Singh. So two big icons, both of them largely not available. Veerbhadra Singh, sad demise. But that sentiment also has not worked on ground. There is something else which has worked, which is actually manifesting if you look at the polls.
I think so. I think, the fact that in a state where every 5 years the government has changed, if the BJP were to come back to power, it doesn't matter whether you're 36 or 40, the fact is you're back in power.
Yes.
Satta aapke paas wapas aa gayi hai. So if that were to happen, like in Uttarakhand, they're actually changing this sort of five-year change of government.
So the Z survey is out. Now we've got the India TV survey, and the India TV survey also, ladies and gentlemen, at this point says 35 to 40 seats for the BJP. So the Z survey, Himachal, and the India TV survey almost mirroring each other. The Congress seats are different, the others and AAP, that breakup is different, but that 35 to 40 band for the BJP once again states. So if you look at it, multiple pollsters have come out and said, barring one, that is Jan Ki Baat, which said BJP may just fall short by 2 or 3. Now, whether or not they're hedging bets or they're looking at vote share percentage slipping 1%, 2% this way, that's the margin for error that Jan Ki Baat has kept. But otherwise, all the other pollsters are saying that the BJP will breach the halfway mark, get into the right side of forming government. And beyond that, if they consolidate, we'll have to wait and watch. Now, somehow, this rings and this is deja vu. Because it looks like we're reading Uttarakhand.
Yeah, exactly.
We are really
and we know where they ended eventually.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, again, I'm just going to write this down on the wall. I think the lower end for the BJP in one survey, the lowest end I think was 32, which means they're too short of the halfway. And the highest I think was 40. Did you see a figure above 40?
It was 40
I think
all
was
along.
everyone's sort of capped at 40. The lowest end for the Congress, I think, was 22 or 23. And the highest end, one survey,
34.
I think, has said 34.
30.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, even lower and higher end comparison, clearly the BJP is in a different bracket. It's in the 30s to 40s range, whereas the Congress is in the 20s to 30s range. But like I said, the one critical factor that can make a difference between these two is if suddenly in this range, there are 4 or 5 independents who win. Remember last time around in Himachal Pradesh, they did not have that much of a presence. Like I said, less than 10% vote, only 3 people won. But if in that dozen constituencies where it's neck and neck, less than 2,000 votes, sometimes even less than 1,000 votes, then I think that could play a critical factor. But as of right now, all 4 exit pollsters who've come out with numbers in Himachal are saying BJP is at the higher end and therefore it's likelier to keep the state.
Numbers are flowing in thick and fast, and actually our political voices, spokespersons from the parties are doing musical chairs without being spoken to. So it's an open out, shout out, and apology in advance. It's not with intent. It's just that the numbers are coming in thick, so we're giving that primacy. Charu Pragya was there. Now Guru Prakash Paswan of the BJPs would be joining us. But let's quickly look at the numbers and make sense of them on this beautiful Alexa Dome and try and understand how it stacks up. Now, do you want to get a poll median already, or you want to wait for some more pollsters? Overall, it just looks like the BJP may hover around the 36, 37 seats mark. If you look at an overall average, 32 to 40, that's the band that's been largely looked at for the BJP. 35 to 39 seats, 38 seats, 35 to 40 seats, 35 to 40 seats. So somewhere around 37, 38 seats, you'd want to hover and stop for the BJP. So comfortably in power, maybe just beyond 3 seats plus as far as the halfway mark. Would they want to breach into the 40s? Of course they would want to, because that would have given them good cushion. But it's a slip for the Congress, and somewhere an opportunity lost for the Congress party where they could have pushing this entire Rivaj aspect and also pushed a little more and worked through that halfway mark, but only one pollster, like Zaka was mentioning, giving them the halfway mark. So they are in the 20s to 30s band, the Congress in 30 to 40 band, and Aam Aadmi Party unlikely to open its account here, with some of the others taking independence then and other
but all
in the fray.
pollsters, Anand, are giving the government to the BJP.
Yeah. So it's 2 and 2 then. It's 2 and 2, beating anti-incumbency, bucking the trend as far as Himachal, repeating something which has happened in Uttarakhand.
And two very distinct elections, 2 very distinct states, but it's time perhaps. And as Mr. Barua said, in 1970s, India is Indira and Indira is India. Now it is about the Modi voter. Prime Minister Modi is, if these numbers hold, is winning Himachal for his party, he is also winning Gujarat for his party. That's very clear now. If these numbers hold.
It is the Modi vote which
It's
is
the Modi
very
vote.
clear.
Absolutely. I mean, the Gujarat voter, both on phase 1 day and today as well, they were all saying, we are here for Modi, right? It was largely an issue-less election. The only biggest issue was we should vote for Modi and we should ensure that he does not face a defeat. So there is an incremental 5 to 10% Modi vote in every state, and more so in Gujarat because he's from there, he's the son of the soil. What this will also mean, if the BJP wins both Himachal and Gujarat, is it puts them in a very, very strong position for next year. You have, I think, about a dozen elections. You've got a whole bunch in Northeast. You have Karnataka, which is a big one. You have then at the end of the year, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. In all of those states, the BJP will be in pole position if these results hold.
The Gujarat election the last time around set the tone with the nerves and the opposition trying to say, "Arey Gujarat mein agar phisal gaye to pure desh mein chance hai." Here this time around, the BJP just seems to say, "Let's just bury it all together." Yeah, settle it to 18 months before the Lok Sabha elections. Brajesh Kallappa is joining Advaita Kala and Rashid Kidwai. Brajesh Kallappa, namaste, good friend, former Congress spokesperson, now with the Aam Aadmi Party. First time we are connecting as you have now become spokesperson for the AAP. But the pollsters are saying to the Aam Aadmi Party, well tried but better luck next time, both in Himachal and in Gujarat. How would you look at it, sir?
I think the jury is still out. We'll have to wait for the elections results to finally be announced. But as on today, if we are to believe these election results, then certainly the Punjab elections have not looked very good. Sorry, the Gujarat elections have not looked very good for us. And as far as Himachal is concerned, I don't think anybody took us very seriously insofar as Himachal is concerned. But as far as Gujarat is concerned, we certainly did have a stake. And we tried to do our very best there. We had a plan of action. We had a chief ministerial candidate. We had a party president. We had a proper structure. We had a very nice campaign. And I think the fact is that we had, in the 2017 election, we had not performed very well. So that, I think if we had laid a foundation in 2017, that may have helped us today. But without doubt, the results of 22 will help us in a future election.
But Brajesh, Zaka is making a point of you occupying the opposition space first and then going in to form the government, that what happened in the state of Punjab. But here, even in the opposition space, you are a distant third if these numbers hold in Gujarat.
No, let's see. Like I said, let's wait for the results to finally be out. But I don't believe that the results will be as dismal as these, because we certainly have put in our very best foot forward, and it looks that our performance would be quite good. But of course, one has to wait for election day to finally comment on the results.
I'll ask Meeta Chakravarti now of the Congress Party.
Well, we've just got numbers of Axis. Axis has put out the numbers for Himachal. Let's try and look at what the Axis numbers are for the state of Himachal Pradesh. And does this bring a surprise? Is there a different story to tell? Here, the Axis Himachal is saying BJP 24 to 34, Congress 30 to 40. So this is the outlier compared to the other pollsters so far, which is actually giving the government to the Congress party, saying the Congress stands a chance, 0 to the AAP again. But others 4 to 8. So the first of the pollsters in Axis saying it's going to swing the other way, it's going to be Rivaj, and BJP is not going to form government. That's what it looks like.
In fact, it's the only poll out of the 5 we put out. This is the only poll which is suggesting that the Congress is ahead. The Congress will win the state of Himachal and not. Again, the one factor that Axis has on the higher side compared to all the others is the others. It's 4 to 8. The others had 0, 1, 2, 3. I think 3 was the highest that I saw. But even at the lower end, if there are 4 to 8 independent or rebel candidates coming back as MLAs, I think that's going to be a critical factor. And maybe that is what is eaten into the BJP's figure. Axis, of course, is a reputed pollster. I don't want to doubt his figures. But like I said, he seems to be, in this case, at least the outlier poll. 4 out of 5 are saying BJP will win. He's the one who's saying that perhaps that's not that easy.
Interesting this, that and we'd have to see how much of the vote share change it is, because largely most of the others, the exit pollsters, have said a 3 to 4% vote share edge for the BJP over the Congress party. If this is what is going to stay eventually, this is the This is the only outlier.
Yes.
So let's try and look at all of this together, ladies and gentlemen. Let's call out the multiple of polls in terms of all of it together, and we'll try and get it on the magic wall for Zaka to also try and break it down. But if you were to see, we've just added, what we've added is access to this entire number. Let's try and bring it in closer, and we would see that Jan Ki Baat, PMark, the ETG survey, and you had India TV. All of them give government comfortably to the BJP. The only one which has said that the BJP will not form government is Axis. Axis has said that the party that will form the government is going to be Congress. So it will be the traditional switch, the Rivaj which has happened, that ek baar tum, ek baar main in Himachal. That's exactly how it will play out. But will the Congress be comfortable with this kind of a number? Will they take this? 30 to 40 is the band, a 10-seat band. 24 to 34, again a 10-seat band, but the BJP just given just right on the halfway mark. With the others, which Zaka also pointed out, 4 to 8 seats to the others. Now that's significant in terms of shift. Now whether will that actually play out, or would you see the overall other average and you would lean to that? Lean to the outlier or lean to the general trend?
You know, like I said, I don't have the Axis numbers, so I've written it by hand. If you look at all of them, there are 5 surveys here of them. The lower end, like I said, for the BJP is 32. The higher end is 40. Almost all the surveys giving the higher end is 40. The only one that is not giving them that is Axis, 24 to 34. Whereas, again, in the Congress, the lower end is 20. The highest end is 34. Again, 34 would be one short of majority. None of these 5 polls are giving majority to Congress. Axis is the outlier in this case. 30 to 40. Even at the lower end, they are saying that the Congress is far closer to forming government than the BJP is. And of course, at the higher end at 40, that would mirror something like what they got last time around. In 2012, they got 38. One critical factor, like I said, is this. This is where I think most pollsters will find it hard. If these 5 pollsters have got the others figure right, then chances are that the BJP will win. The BJP will be in a position to form government. If this number is wrong and Axis has got the others right, 4 to 8 rebels or independents winning and coming back, then that is what is hurting the BJP. At least that is what the Axis's number is. Whereas the other pollsters, I think, if they go wrong, this is where they would have gone wrong, and this would, of course, affect both the BJP and the Congress.
So let's just signpost it and put it out there as breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first Himachal outlier that's coming, and the first Himachal outlier bucks the trend and doesn't say it's a runaway victory or a comfortable victory for the BJP. It actually says that it's the Congress which has got its nose ahead, and it's the Congress party which is actually in a better position to form government in Himachal once the result comes on the 8th of December. So that's what the Axis poll says. It's the first outlier that emerges as far as the Himachal polls. And it's the Election News Center breaking here at CNN News18 that Axis My India gives Congress the edge in Himachal Pradesh. So that's the big one, only one, and not by a huge margin, both for the BJP and the Congress party. If you were to see, 40 is the breach. It's the top end. So no party so far is going beyond 40. Are there other pollsters who would actually want to give the BJP more seats? We'd have to see, because there are many pollsters still putting out the numbers. There are many who are still making claims. Some
but
are
the rebels.
Yeah.
That the other number that Zaka was analyzing becomes very important, because if it is a 4 to 8 Zaka that Axis is talking about.
No, which is why I keep going back to this figure. I mean, it was less than 10%. It was a sweep for the BJP last time around, because the others figure was less than 10%. If there are going to be between 4 to 8 rebels winning back as MLAs, then this figure will not be 9.5%. It will be closer to the 20% mark, which is what you saw in 2012 as well. When the Congress won, again, you remember that election also had a lot of rebels. Look at this figure. It's 18.63. It's closer to 20%. There were 6 who won between that range of 4 to 8. So I think that is what is very hard to predict in a small state, and which is where the pollsters got Uttarakhand also wrong. They said there will be a lot of rebels. Turned out there were no rebels. The vote share of the others was less than 10%. That's why the BJP swept. Let's see how this one plays out. I think it'll be a fascinating election to see. Like I said, I don't have the Axis number here. I had written it by hand. But all 5 polls pointing in the direction of BJP winning. One outlier saying that may not necessarily be the case.
Right. And does that convince all of you as viewers? Would you want to lean on the outlier, or would you want to look at the trend? We'll try and go across to our guest, Meeta Chakravarti of the Congress Party was with us. We also should be having Guru Prakash Paswan of the BJP with us, of the BJP. Namaste, along with Advaita Kala, Brajesh Kallappa, Nalin Mehta, all with us. Meeta ji, are you going to hold on to the Axis outlier number, or do you believe wo bhi kam hai?
I'm going to hold on to our internal survey numbers. And in Himachal Pradesh, we are very, very confident that we are going to form the government very comfortably this time. There has been strong anti-incumbency, and the manifesto that we built, which was built specifically on Himachal Pradesh-based local issues, be it OPS or be it the other issues of employment and education system that we spoke about, I think it has found a resonance with the voters of Himachal Pradesh, and we are very confident that we are very comfortably placed in that state, and we are forming the government in Himachal Pradesh.
Guru Prakash Paswan,
so yes, if
agree,
you
disagree?
Talk about the Axis survey, we will see, but our internal survey gives a bigger number, a higher number than what Axis survey has given us.
More than 40 plus is what you're looking at. Guru Prakash Paswan.
Anandji, I was listening to the panelists from the Congress party, and I come from Bihar. And in Bihar, you don't go to a barat without a dulha. So where is the dulha of Congress party in Himachal Pradesh? What is the face of Congress party in Himachal Pradesh? No one. Absolutely no one. The top leadership of the Congress party, how many rallies did Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi did in Himachal Pradesh? I want to ask the panelists from the Congress party. So this is how seriously they were taking the entire Himachal Pradesh elections. But we have to understand that the people of Himachal Pradesh, the infrastructure development that has happened, the Manali roads and everything that has taken place, the pension scheme, people of Himachal Pradesh are solidly standing with the Bharatiya Janata Party. There is absolutely no doubt in our minds. And you cannot just rely on one exit poll. Axis definitely is showing it the other way around, but there are other exit polls as well. Okay. It might be a close call, but we have faith. Our leadership have worked really hard. And we have a vision, we have an imagination, we have a face for Himachal Pradesh, which is going to be our greatest advantage.
Okay.
And we are convinced that we'll get a comfortable
But the Congress party did have Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on ground. Towards the last leg or the slogovers of the campaign, Advaita, she was campaigning extensively. And for the Congress, leaders who I interacted with, in Shimla or Hamirpur region, they kept on talking about Priyanka Gandhi, saying that she has a recall value.
She's also been a resident of Himachal.
That's right.
She has a home there, so she does spend a fair amount of time in the state. I think, like I said earlier and prior to the exit polls, I think for political analysis, Himachal is going to be the interesting one, because I do think that it's going to be close. And Congress does have a shot, unlike in Gujarat, where it's a walkover. I think in Himachal, there has been this flip-flop. But I agree, Veerbhadra Singh, despite Priyanka Gandhi and the few rallies that she's done, they have fought this election on his legacy. And that's a very tricky thing, because even when you looked at the posters in Himachal, Veerbhadra Singh was predominant in them. And then you had everybody else, sort of dotted around that central figure, including the Gandhis, who were part of that galaxy of people. But can you win an election based on a leader who isn't amongst us anymore, no matter how great and how effective he was? And he certainly was, no doubt about it. He was the foremost leader in many ways in Himachal, but he's gone now. And I'm not sure that that's going to really deliver in real terms, because they're really counting on an emotional connect for it to deliver for them. And like I said earlier, I think the upper reaches, the Congress is strong there. But again, unlike Uttarakhand, in Himachal, we have not seen that anti-incumbency sentiment against the government. It was far more prevalent in Uttarakhand, and BJP still won. I think Uttarakhand was a case of Congress losing that state as opposed to BJP winning it. But in Himachal's case, it's slightly different, because Jairam Thakur does not have that anti-incumbency sentiment around him. He's had a stable government, and he's had it without any scandal.
Advaita, the joke is that the anti-incumbency against Jairam Thakur was within the BJP and not not elsewhere.
That's where the rebels come in, Anand. Anand, that's where the
Will
rebels
that come into play? We have to wait and watch. We have to wait and watch. Meanwhile, let's just, before we go across to our guests again and go back to our guests again, let's just quickly do a recap of who's saying what. What are the numbers looking at as far as the pollsters in Himachal Pradesh? Quick recap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and see. This is the PMark survey. PMark has one of the first to give the government to the BJP. Right on the halfway number, plus the higher number is 39. So clearly another 5 seats from halfway having majority. That was the number that PMark had given, saying the Congress would fall short 28 to 33. That was the band. Let's look at ETG. Now this is what ETG said. As the ETG number comes, ETG also put on the single digit number 38. So far the median for the Congress has been around 27 to 28 seats, and for the BJP it has been 37 to 38 seats, barring Axis. This is where these numbers, ETG said. Jan Ki Baat turned around and said that the BJP may just fall short at 32, 3 short of clear majority. But on the higher end, once again, it's 40 for the BJP. There are many within the BJP who believe that 40 is a slower, kam ka number hai, pichli baar jitna hi milega. Pratibha Singh of the Congress says, nahi, hame 45 milega. Those are their claims. But this is what the pollsters are saying, that the BJP will be higher end 40, Jan Ki Baat. And then let's try and look at one of the other pollsters. Axis was way out, the outlier in this entire group. You also had the Z survey coming in. You also had, so this is the Axis My India number, and look at Axis My India. It actually flipped the whole case and said it's the Congress which has the edge and which stands in pole position to start to form the government. So Axis the only outlier so far amidst all of the pollsters for Himachal Pradesh so far. Let's try and look at the overall poll of polls. Now, this is the overall poll of polls. The News18 poll of polls says that the BJP will have 36 compared to 44 the last time around. The Congress will be at 29, up a 0, and others will be 3. So this is the overall News18 poll of polls, which is giving the government in Himachal Pradesh to the BJP. That's how it is. Clear by 2 from the halfway mark, just above 1 as far as absolute majority is concerned, but they are there in the clear. So this is the News18 poll of polls. Nalin Mehta, agree, disagree with this number, or do you believe jo bhi jeetega 40 ke paas hoga?
So Anand, it's very clear from the trend of these numbers, the trend line is very clear that the BJP, this is a close election in Himachal, but the BJP is ahead. Even in the one outlier poll which shows the Congress winning, that it's not showing a sweep for the Congress. Even in that outlier poll, it's showing the Congress ahead with the majority in that one. Now, if you take the trend line, the fact of the matter is, after in an election, in a state where you generally have an oscillation between the BJP and the Congress, I think if the BJP manages to retain Himachal, it's going to raise serious questions on the Congress leadership, because it's going to raise a question if, and again, that's an if, because we have to wait and see what the final numbers are. But assuming that the exit poll trend line is correct, if that be the case, it raises serious questions that despite having a government of the BJP in power in 5 years, despite you have not been able to build a coherent narrative to take on. This is the election Congress should have won in Himachal.
In all these elections in recent years, that the voter isn't confused. बीच की सरकार नहीं होती है. इस तरह का mandate नहीं आता है. It's one way. The voter is very sure about his or her choice. There's no confusion in the voter's mind.
We saw that in Uttarakhand as well, and I think I agree. We saw that in Uttarakhand as well, and I think it was said in the discussion between Anand and Zaka and you, Maria, that Himachal at the moment, looking at the trend line, is reminding us of Uttarakhand. I think increasingly in Indian politics, we are getting away from the older pattern of both of anti-incumbency and also of hung verdicts. I think voters are very clear outside of the ideological echo chambers that we all live in, outside of this prism of left and right. I think voters are fundamentally voting with their feet, whether we like that or not.
No, I think one of the things what Advaita talked about, and I sort of slightly disagree with her, I don't think there was a lack of issues in Himachal. I think the old pension scheme was a big talking point. Even reporters who went there said that people were upset about it, and government employees constitute a huge chunk. I think in virtually every home there is a government employee. So it was, I think, about 10% of the electorate was government employees. So that was one big talking point. I did hear, and I think somebody did mention this, I think Priyanka Gandhi had promised in one of the campaign rallies that Agni Veer will be abolished if the Congress comes to power in Himachal. I think that was a talking point as well. And, you know, jobs and inflation are always a talking point. The issue is, how can you convert that into an election determining factor? In Gujarat, it's not like these issues were not there, but people didn't care about these issues because there was something bigger. They had to vote for Modi. This was the vote for Modi in Gujarat. It was the son of the soil. Vikas ho raha hai, acha ho raha hai, and we have to continue this. In Himachal, we didn't quite hear that same
The other aspect is fixing what is broken, to try and correct an anomaly. If there was a sentiment of anti-incumbency with the current leadership in Gujarat, it was a full sweep of the 38-member cabinet that happened. So there was action. Was there an issue of paper leak? Yes. Education an issue? Yes. Unemployment or jobs and sorting out? Yes. Corruption within the bureaucracy and certain echelons of administration? Yes. But can these be addressed, and do they believe the BJP will address it, or the only person who will fix it is Modi? That is also yes. That's the thing. In Himachal, what do you think will stand out, Rashid Kidwai? Do you believe that the quota that was announced for Pahadis in Jammu and Kashmir will have an impact? Do you believe that stability in terms of progress, even changing leadership, action, reaction to the sentiment on ground that's coming from the BJP, will the voter lean on that? And also the larger welfare schemes which have accrued.
I think, Anand, there is no fixed pattern when it comes to voting behavior in a state like, from Gujarat to Himachal, or for that matter, Delhi Municipal Corporation. And I think voters tend to vote for or against as per the local conditions. I think in Himachal, story in Congress was quite formidable. They have established leadership. There was no dearth of resources, and the entire election was macro-managed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. If the Congress fails to win or Himachal, it will be a very a big blow to the Congress leadership, not only to Mr. Kharge, but also to the Gandhi family and all. And it will establish that when Congress tries Modi versus Rahul Gandhi, then they lose. If they detach Rahul Gandhi, then also they are good for nothing. So Congress will really run out of ideas. So therefore, I think for the Congress, for its political survival, Himachal is very important.
But Rashid, you're talking about a valid point. It's about in Himachal and also in Gujarat, it became Modi versus a local candidate in the Congress party, because they realized that they did not have a figure which was so prominent like Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But talking specifically about Himachal and Priyanka Gandhi, because it was Priyanka Gandhi and Rajiv Shukla who were backroom managers of this entire campaign. She was there in Himachal. She tried to speak about the Agnipath scheme and said that if they come to power, then things will be different. But, as far as anger is concerned, there was no anger per se. Will it be about anti-incumbency, or did the people just say that, let's look at some other government?
I think, Maria, it's going to be very clear that if there is a mandate, we do not know what will happen on 8th when election results will be announced. It will be a decisive mandate, whether it's in Gujarat or in Himachal. This is a trend in every state. It will happen. And for the Congress to survive, Congress has to have 40 seats or more, because otherwise there are others, and there is all kind of games that are played for government formation. So I think for the Congress, it will be very important that they have a decisive mandate, and I think voters will also give either way, either in favor of BJP or against the BJP. So I expect a clear mandate in Himachal.
So it will be a clear mandate. Largely pollsters are saying it will be in favor of the BJP. BJP believes these are conservative numbers, be it Gujarat or Himachal. Congress believes these are conservative numbers, be it Gujarat or Himachal. Everybody believes their numbers will be better. It's a good feeling to have, because they're all confident that they have done well and they put in the effort on ground. Now, what formula works for which party? The voter has already decided. The numbers will come on the 8th of December. What are the pollsters found out? Let's see. Let's shift focus away from Himachal and turn towards Gujarat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the Jan Ki Baat numbers, starting with the poll of polls, or as we set up the poll of polls. The exit poll number for Jan Ki Baat, 117 to 140. That's a big band, but that's also because what is the swing as far as the vote share is concerned. And that's why. But clearly, majority for the BJP. So there is no problems there. Let's look at and what happens with the Congress slide. Big slide. Big slide from 77 to 34 to 51. That's the band that they put. Let's look at TV9 Gujarat. TV9 Gujarat, very, very optimistic about the BJP's chances. The lower point itself is close to the BJP's best ever, 127, and now it's 125. The highest actually takes it closer or above the 130 mark. So it could be the BJP's best ever performance if you were to look at it as in the state of Gujarat. Let's look at PMark. PMark also has given numbers which are similar. 128 to 148. PMark actually the lower number closer to what TV9 had said, but it is still better than the BJP's best ever. And the highest number takes it closer to the all-time record in Gujarat. That's 149 seats in 1985 by Madhav Singh Solanki. Now, can they breach that and make it the best ever, most unassailable achievement for the BJP? And that will be a huge story if it happens 2.5 decades nearly in power for the BJP to get close to 150. That will be a huge statement.
You know, like I said, the figure of 99 is the floor. No one, not one pollster has given them anywhere close. I think the lowest end for the BJP that I saw was 117. The highest, I think, was 148. I hope those numbers are the right ones. So 117 to 148 was the lowest of all the pollsters who gave for BJP, and the highest, of course, was 148. So again, I keep going back to, and again, for the Congress, I think it was between 30 and 50. Here, I think one story will be, yes, the Congress has slid and slid quite badly from 77. If they have to come down to 50, that's a fall of 30 seats. From 77, if they have to fall to 30, that's a fall of almost 50 seats. So I think the issue is going to be the slide that was caused in the Congress's vote and the Congress's seat share is directly what the BJP will gain from. I don't think there is space in Gujarat, as Shankar Singh Waghela found out, as Keshubai Patel found out. I don't think there is a space in Gujarat for a third party. I think Aam Aadmi Party will find that out in this election.
Now, if this vote share turnout, Maria, if it is more than 68%, 65-68% in phase 2, will you have certain pollsters revising these numbers upward again for the BJP? There are only 3 or 4 pollsters who've put out the numbers for BJP or for Gujarat so far. Now, if this settles, 3 baje ka number, 5 baje ka number, final number, and that final number in phase 2 is around 67%, would you see these numbers getting revised further upward, closer to that 150
it will be going up, Zaka, particularly in phase 1, phase 2, when you heard the voters, they kept saying, sab acha hai, issue kya hai, koi issue nahi hai.
Yeah, I think you come back to this range, if you're looking at 130 as the midway point in this range, 130 is better than ever what the BJP has had in the last 27 years that they've been in power. I think the highest they had was 126.
127, 2002.
130, and you'd remember Amit Shah in every interview, including to the one that he gave to News18, to Rahul Joshi, he said, BJP ke sare purane record hum todenge. So if 127 was the benchmark, 130 is already the average. In fact, the News18 poll of polls figure, I think, is 132. 32. Is that right?
Yeah.
Of course, we haven't seen any outlier polls yet. We haven't seen the axis number for Gujarat. But I suspect the axis number will err on the side of further for the BJP. I don't think it'll be less for the BJP.
And Zaka, this is after 27 years in government.
Absolutely.
I think that is the story. The story of 8th will be, if this number is above 132, it will be about how to ensure that if you not only expand footprints, look at newer terrains that the BJP has been doing since 2014, but how to retain the root. This is where the story begins. That's where the Gujarat model Prime Minister begins, started talking about from 2014
after
onwards.
27 years, if you have to come back with the biggest majority that you've had in that state, you have to be doing something right, boss.
Yeah, and it just settles it. And every time this jibe that comes, that PM is spending so much time. PM इतनी लंबी रैली क्यों कर रहे हैं? इतनी सारी रैलीज क्यों कर रहे हैं? यहाँ रोड शो क्यों किया? Why did he do a road show? I keep going back to when in Lok Sabha, 2014, where they said, they're losing. Then Prime Minister is desperate. They're not going to be able to hold on to these seats, and it's all gone.
UP
and look at the score. Look at the score.
Yes.
Look at the score. 2014, 2017, same thing happened, and the score was different. When you see the Prime Minister pushing this kind of effort, perhaps going forward, one must realize that they are going for the jugular. They are actually going for a number which nobody thought the BJP will ever achieve, or they have set their sights on that and they believe they can reach it or they can better that. 140 seats or 148 seats. Look at the higher median, Jan Ki Baat and PMark. He won 130, ladies and gentlemen. 2002, 127. After that, they've been sliding. They came down to 115 and then further down, and eventually in 2017 it was 190. It was 99. And you would only slide further in terms of anti-incumbency. To jump from 99 to nearly 130 or 140, it's itself phenomenal. And imagine what it sets as a narrative and template for all the state assembly elections going forward.
Oh, absolutely. And
Till
like
Lok Sabha 2024.
This will set the stage for the BJP. If they get anywhere above 127, which is the record that they have, the 2002 election, if they get anywhere above 127, it will set the stage for the BJP for the coming dozen elections in 2023 and, of course, the big one in 2024. What this would mean is, if the BJP can beat the Congress after 27 years of anti-incumbency in Gujarat, it puts them again in pole position in Karnataka.
Yeah.
Admittedly, Congress may be in a better position in Karnataka than it was in Gujarat. But if this result holds, then absolutely you can be rest assured that the BJP will throw the kitchen sink to retain the state of Karnataka.
Madhya Pradesh,
yes.
November 2023 is
Correct.
Madhya Pradesh.
Correct.
So big
Three important states.
Yeah.
Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh going to polls together. You have Karnataka, down south Telangana, in the northeast Tripura. All these states are lined up, 13 states which go to polls next year. But coming on this, Guru Prakash Paswan, which is the number that you will be watching out for? Gujarat को देखेंगे या हिमाचल प्रदेश के बारे में बात करेंगे?
नहीं, देखिए दोनों की बात करेंगे. But Maria, we have to understand a couple of things. You just look at the statement of the Congress leadership. Madhusudan Mistry, प्रधानमंत्री की औकात. Time and again, constantly, you have been attacking the Gujarat ka asmita. For the last 20 years, since 2002, you have been attacking that. Maut ka saudagar.
Guru Prakash Paswan, we've just got one more number, so let's just add that and then I'll come back to you and you please continue. Let's quickly look at the ETG numbers. ETG also breaches the 130 mark for the BJP. So the ETG numbers also clearly turn out to say 131. So abhi hamara poll of poll number was 132, News 18 poll of polls, it's 131. So we hover around that same number. Congress slipping down from 77 to 41, back to those 40 seats jo unka standard hai, which is there. AAP getting into the higher in the single digits, 6 seats and 4 seats for the others. Yes, Guru Prakash Paswan. Now 131 again by ETG. Are you happy with that?
No, Anandji, we are absolutely happy. Honorable Home Minister has said that we crossed the 50% vote share mark. And I think your exit polls are suggesting the same thing. We have to understand a couple of things. That the people of Gujarat have always shown this unwavering faith in the leadership of Narendra Modi ji. And what did we see from the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party? They were only solely focused on attacking the image of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. Entirely. What are the 4 strong pillars on which we win?
आपके लिए बीजेपी के लिए जो बैटिंग, फील्डिंग, बॉलिंग सब कुछ कर रहे हैं और कोचिंग भी कर रहे हैं, उन्हीं को तो अटैक करेंगे. It's all PM Modi. He's shouldering this single-handedly, quite literally. Not that the others are not chipping in, but the others are dwarfed by what his contribution is and what his aura and what his image is. And how long can you piggyback on Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a question that the BJP leadership has to ask itself. Let's look at the poll of polls quickly as we go across to our other guests. So far as right now, ladies and gentlemen, the pollster is saying it's the Modi magic at work. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the son of the soil, Gujarat's very own, has got the trust of the Gujaratis. That's what the pollsters are saying, hands down. 99 to straight the lowest number at the Jan Ki Baat median is 117. The highest number is with PMark at 148. Overall, the poll of polls arrives at a 132 number for the BJP in Gujarat compared to 99. The halfway mark there is 92. They are at 99. They were at 99 in 2017. Now very clearly nearly 30 to 40 seats up, if not more. That's what the trend shows. Congress slipping down from 77 to the lowest number is 30 and the highest number is 51. Now, will they be happy with this number? Keeping Rahul Gandhi away, largely making it a local election. Are they happy with their traditional base of about 40 to 45 seats across Gujarat? This is a good story to tell, is important. Aam Aadmi Party, will they take heart? Will they take heart that they are breaching onto the leaderboard, emerging as a third entity and a third party? Largely, many others have tried, but they have failed. Will the AAP use this perhaps as a stepping stone to their plans for 2027? We'll have to wait and watch. Now, we've just got more news coming through, and this is the election news breaking. If there was an outlier in Himachal, all pollsters so far are agreeing on one thing. It's the BJP that is coming back, and how in Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the BJP's organizational abilities, Amit Shah and all the other leaders, plus the local factors of certain changes which were made 18 months ago, all of that allow the BJP, as per the exit polls and the News18 poll of polls, to be poised to create history in the state of Gujarat. This is a big development, ladies and gentlemen, bucking a trend. Nobody would believe that they would come back so strongly after nearly 2.5 decades in power, set to win a 7th successive time. What a story. Case study in case studies. An Aam Aadmi Party breaches into a third state within 10 years of existence, and within 27 years of power, the BJP comes back as perhaps its best ever performance in the state.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just going to handwrite the poll of polls so far. There are 4 polls, all of them giving the BJP a substantial majority. Remember 2017, and I keep going back to this, 99 was the floor. It was the lower end of the ceiling. How much more can they add from that 99? It was the foundation for the BJP. It was the lowest you could go to. From there, how much more can they build on their pillars? Lower end, 117. Highest end, 148. And that's where the News18 poll of poll number is also. It's bang in the middle, 132. As far as the Congress is concerned, and again, people keep talking about, 77. 77 was what they had in 2017. But when they start this election, it was down to 60. Because remember, 17 of their MLAs had shifted to the BJP. Many of them got tickets as well from the BJP. So 60 was their base. Now you look at this number, not one poll is giving anywhere close to 60 for the Congress. So the Congress is lower than what it got, not just in 2017, but lower than where it started this election. 51 at the highest, at the lowest, of course, 30. So the range between 30 to 51, that's a 20-21 seat range. The point then is the Congress has done worse than where this election started. These 17 seats I'm not counting because, like I said, those 17 MLAs moved away from the Congress into the BJP, and like I said, many of them got tickets. But even the starting point for the 2022 election, they're not able to breach at 60 seats. Aam Aadmi Party, like I said, the News18 figure is 6. Everyone was sort of saying single digits. If they get high single digits, that in itself will be an important one. And let's not forget, in Gujarat too, you had the rebel factor, but you're not seeing that play out as much because, of course, it's a much bigger state. It's 182 seats. Himachal is just 68, so the rebels will not play as big a factor. It is still very much a bipolar state as far as I'm concerned between the BJP and the Congress. The Congress far diminished than what it used to be before, and certainly what it was in 2017. And the BJP far higher than 2017, and possibly, if it's on the higher end of this figure, it could be the biggest that they've seen.
But Zaka, in 2017, BJP got 49% vote.
Yes.
If they stand at 132, it is above 55 or so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It could be anywhere close to 55 to 60%. Again, the important thing is, in a 2-horse race, if anyone crosses 50%, you automatically win because it's the first past the post system. If you cross 50% vote share, then you are sitting on a massive landslide.
Or maybe that 148 could be much above.
Yeah.
You never know. If it's 50% plus.
59% at Lok Sabha. If it is 55% in the assembly, in the Vidhan Sabha this time, with about a 64-65% overall vote share. What does it mean? Now, let's just quickly bring in the News18 poll of polls, ladies and gentlemen. The News18 poll of polls, this is where it stands. Zaka wrote it there on the wall. We just put it there here on Alexa, make it look a little more spunky. You can take a snapshot of this and say, Acha, 8th of December, ye hota hai ki nahi. 132, 41, 6 and 3, 99, 7, 0 and 6, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how it is looking at this point. If you look at the overall poll of polls here at News18. But just as Maria was saying this, will that number go up? Just as Zaka was saying that if you got more than 50% vote share in a 2-horse race, largely 2-horse race, you should run away with the election. We're looking at about 55% vote share.
Yes.
I just got a message from somebody in Gujarat saying, agar wo 135 par hai, to 150 bhi par hai. So that's what they're saying. They're saying if the trend stops between 115 to 125, then they will hover around that number.
Zaka,
if they are breaching 135, as our average is 132,
Yes.
they are going beyond 135.
Yes, so
that's why it will run away with the whole
then
thing.
Then it is a story similar to that of Uttar Pradesh 2017 when it is a two-third.
Yeah, absolutely. Even at like I said, even at 130, it will be a two-thirds majority for the BJP. So the issue again, you know, Gujarat has once again shown that it is a two-party race. It is still now largely between the Congress and the BJP. Yes, it's a far more diminished Congress. For the Aam Aadmi Party, I think, yes, they made a lot of noise on social media, on the campaigns, but I think the best performance would be single digits. They've managed to open their account. If they need to replace the Congress as the principal opposition in the state of Gujarat, then there needs to be a serious work on ground. It may take a couple of election cycles for them to breach the 30 or 40 seats that the Congress manages to get. But to be able to seriously challenge the BJP, and let's not forget, Modi magic is there, absolutely, anywhere between 5 to 10% vote. There is the Modi vote, but there is also the organization vote. The BJP, again, even in Gujarat, had about a dozen odd rebels who were not given tickets. About 30% of their candidates were changed. A lot of them stood as independent. Some of them went to AAP, some of them went to Congress Party. But to be able to buck all of that and come back with this kind of a resounding majority, like we said, at the lowest end, it would be 20 seats higher than what they got last time. At the highest end, it would be history in the making for the BJP.
So, Sangathan and Netritva.
Yeah,
these are the two takeaways. Sangathan, the organization of the BJP, and this is where the Modi story begins.
Absolutely.
And I think this is what the BJP is trying to say, that agar roots mazboot hai, tabhi phir aage badhenge.
It's also the commitment of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is not willing to take any aspect of this entire democratic dance lightly. Most importantly, electioneering. And he understands the importance. Now, we have assumed G20 leadership, Zaka. If he is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who wins Gujarat 25 years plus later on with a record margin, look at the stature where it elevates him.
Absolutely.
Say, you can't question me. You know, Netanyahu can't come back and say, you know, stand like that. A Macron cannot stand like that. A Biden cannot stand like a Prime Minister Narendra Modi would stand. Not because he's retained the his own country or the national level twice. And this is a 7th successive government for the BJP. And look at the mandate that he's getting. Less than about 18 months to Lok Sabha 2024.
And setting the eye on the next set of elections. Today was the organization meeting, Zaka. You know, National Office Bearers meeting was happening at the BJP headquarters. Then you had the state unit presidents. All of them were meeting for the next set of elections. That's quintessential BJP, the new BJP that Nalin Mehta keeps talking about, which sets its eyes on the next set of elections. Nalin, if you are still there with us, when you look at these numbers and the state of Gujarat, which is all set, if these numbers hold for 8th, to vote for the BJP for the 7th consecutive time, uninterrupted.
If these numbers hold, then we are seeing a landslide for the BJP. We are seeing a demolition of not the Congress voter in Gujarat, but the faith that the Congress voter had in Gujarat on the Congress leadership. Because if the Congress gets so diminished after doing so well last time, this is a huge question it raises to the decision by Rahul Gandhi and by the Congress leadership to stay away from this campaign. Because then fundamentally you essentially have a BJP dominant polity which the Congress has given up on. As far as the point you were making about the new BJP and about Sangathan and Netritva, you are absolutely right, Maria. We are seeing the fact that you have brand Modi, the fact that you have this deep connect with Narendra Modi and the persona of the Prime Minister, that of course is a very goes without saying. But at the same time, I don't think we can. At the same time, you have a very deep grassroots structure of the BJP upon which this whole thing is built upon, and that has taken a long time to build, and we are seeing the results of that. So it's the leadership then adds extra oomph and extra value to it, but getting the voter out, getting the last mile out, and that is exactly why the AAP is not succeeding in the way that many thought it would.
So
therefore,
you're of the opinion
fact that the Congress gave up the campaign,
that the above range would be much higher than what the pollsters are saying. The upper range? Will it be above,
Sorry,
above
could you,
132?
could you repeat that, Maria?
Will it be above 132? That is the News 18
It could be, because
poll of polls.
It's very possible that happens, Maria, because what you are seeing very clearly is that AAP has cut into the Congress vote. A core of the Congress vote is of course there, but because AAP has cut into it in several places, and the BJP vote has not really diminished, it could easily hit the 130 to 140 mark.
So 60% is what they had, Anand, in 2019 Lok Sabha elections.
No,
it is roughly
59.
around the same.
I was just saying the same thing. 59 point something was the number, and I said 59% means if they are getting back at least 55%, there is an electoral mechanism that they seem to have perfected. Plus, they have a star candidate who's not just sitting on the aura. The aspect is the hard yards that the Prime Minister is ready to put in, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the commitment that he's showing. He's not taking a single voter lightly. He's not sitting on his laurels, nor is he turning around and saying plenty of takeaways that stand out. But let's just quickly look at how the numbers stack up. And so far, Axis has not yet come in. Will Axis give us an outlier number which belies this trend, or it actually takes this trend and extrapolates it further and takes it into the 150 mark? We'll have to wait and watch. But largely what it looks like is the kind of voter turnout that's come through so far, the numbers which they have come. I'm just going to check with our team if the final vote share numbers or voter turnout numbers, beg your pardon, voter turnout numbers for phase 2 have come out, and the overall Gujarat voter turnout has come out. And then we would know, because today we know for sure that the BJP has asked its voter to come out and vote. And if it's the BJP voter that's come out to vote, what does that imply in phase 2 out of these 92 or 93 seats that went to polls today? Those are aspects which will come and perhaps play on this stack that you see for the BJP, with the lowest number at 117 and the highest number at 148. It's a fantastic story, and layers within layers. Congress demise debacle is a case study. Aam Aadmi Party's rise in states within a decade of existence is a case study. And the BJP's dominance decade after decade is also a case study. But for you, Zaka, if you look at these numbers, were you expecting, let me put you on the spot and say, listen, were you expecting the News 18 poll of polls to aggregate 132 for the BJP? Or did he say, 100, 110 khich lega, tab tak?
Yeah, look, I mean, if a party has to come back after 27 years in power, and like I said, conservative, the estimate by the News 18 poll is 132. I'm putting 130 there and 41 for the Congress. This is the most highest that the BJP has had in the last 27 years under Mr. Modi first, and then of course there was Anandiben Patel and then Vijaybai Rupani. To come back with the highest margin or highest number of seats after 3 decades in power, that is no small mean feat. And like I said, even at the lowest end, it's 117. It is about 17, 18 seats more than what they got last time. So I think the opposition has to go back to the drawing board, particularly the Congress party. Remember, they had 77 last time. Even if you were to discount the 17 rebels who left the Congress and then joined the BJP, even if you were to take the lower end of 60 for the Congress party, the starting point, they're not able to match that 60 in any of these numbers. We don't have any outlier polls yet, all of them pointing in the same direction. The lowest end at 30, the lowest end at 30 and the highest end at 51. So the Congress party needs to go back to the basics and ask, did we not raise the right issues? Where was the leadership? Yes, the national leadership did not show interest in that election. Rahul Gandhi went there for just one day. But what about the local leadership? Today we had, stories from our reporters asking for vox pops of the people there. And people didn't know who the local leaders of the Congress there were. Candidate, yes, some people, in those constituencies where the Congress candidate was strong, particularly in rural areas, they knew the name of the candidate.
And
but
this is the only state, Zaka,
yes,
where the Congress actually had organization and were consistent around 35%.
Yes, they have never come down below 40 seats, and I think about 38% vote share. If they come down to this, 34 to 51 or 30 to 42, they would have come to the lower end, both in terms of vote share and in terms of seats. And I think that is a wake-up call for the Congress
See, the distance
party.
from 99 to 117 is far greater from the distance from 77 to 92.
Yes.
Let's look at it practically over a period of 5 years. If you wanted to consolidate, you would have wanted to. आप सेंग लगाने की कोशिश करते हैं, मेहनत करने की कोशिश. There are a lot of takeaways, but clearly the 2024 momentum is with the BJP, ladies and gentlemen. If these results stand on the 8th of December, that's Result Day Live, and the only place you can confirm that is right here at CNN CNN News18. Let's quickly, we just got about 90 seconds to go. Let's quickly look at both the states, Himachal Pradesh, and also let's look at the state of Gujarat. First, let's look at Gujarat, 182 seats. This is how the numbers stack up. Phenomenal performance by the BJP if this result holds. Now, Axis, which had put out the outlier as far as Himachal, has not yet set its number, but these are the numbers that we have. 117, that's the lowest for the BJP, 148 is the highest. The lowest for the Congress party is 30 seats and the highest is 51. They have some serious introspection to do. The Aam Aadmi party, if it breaks into double digits, will take that as a major win, along with, of course, the consolation prize of the MCD victory in Delhi, where largely all pollsters are saying that the AAP is taking it hands down. But otherwise, if they break into the leaderboard, then they have the opportunity to consolidate in a third state and 5 years down the line, try and become perhaps the opposition for the BJP and perhaps cannibalize the Congress. What that will do to the entire dynamic of the united combined opposition in Lok Sabha 2024, that's another matter, and we will discuss that another day. Let's look at Himachal. In Himachal, once again, except for the outlier that is Axis, which gave the government or perhaps the possibility or pole position to the Congress party, all other pollsters say that the BJP will retain power. Maybe just or comfortably, but they are on course to retain power, which will again buck the trend in Himachal Pradesh. Sans Veerbhadra Singh, is the Congress perhaps missing him or not a potent force to continue the trend that BJP once, Congress again, then BJP, then Congress? This time will that buck the trend like in Uttarakhand? Will that happen in Himachal? The poll of polls shows yes, it's the BJP that's taking. So 2 and 2. 2 and 2 to set the tone, 2 and 2 to set the tone ahead of 2023 and 2024, right? 10, 13 elections, states are going to poll.
As we wait, I think we're waiting for the Axis number in Gujarat, which I'm told is likely to come anytime now. Let's have a wager. Let's have a bet with the book. My sense is, given what he's given for the Himachal election, being the only outlier poll, even in Gujarat, I think he will err further on the side of the BJP in the sense that 148 could be even more. I think the Axis number would be close to 150. This is my view.
I will go with you. I think that's a fair assessment.
See, I don't know psephology, but we know the trend. See, when everybody said that the BJP is going to struggle, we said they will get 282. They got 280 plus. They said they never breach 300. They got 300 because ground sentiment is different, and the political lexicon itself now has to change in terms of how you would read this. Like even that, 2017, if the Patidars were up and rebelling, the others consolidated in favor favor of the BJP.
Exactly.
Here, there is now a huge chunk who are now voting for the BJP. They say Bhajap. They don't say only Modi. They say Bhajap. So they know the party in Gujarat. They also know the leader that is Modi. And they also see what he is doing, how much he is doing. Should you do more? Of course. Should I do more? Of course. But when we get our performance rating happens, we also see what we have done, right? Can do better is always there, but what we've done. So I would say that they are breaching 150. If this trend holds, they are breaching 150.
So I'm going back to these numbers, and I'm going to write the News 18 poll of polls number. It's 132 for the BJP, 41 for the Congress, 6 for the Aam Aadmi Party, and 3 for the others. If the Axis number were to be on the higher side, higher than 148, which is the highest we are seeing here amongst any of the polls, if it was going to be in excess of 150, I think those gains will have to come from the AAP number and perhaps even the others number. I think this will be closer to less than 5 and maybe 0. I think that's where those gains will come if that number has to breach 150. Like I said, right now it's hypothetical because that number has not come. But my sense is also that it will be higher than the poll of poll number. Because remember, if at 132 the BJP comes back to power, that is a record. That is a record, the highest ever seats that the BJP has got in its 3 decades in power in Gujarat. And it's not easy to do. It is not easy to do after so much of anti-incumbency. And there were issues. Anyone who says there were no issues in Gujarat, I don't think it's accurate. Definitely there were issues. It's a question of, which opposition party was able to make that into a vote determinant. I think they missed an opportunity. They were not able to make that into a vote determinant. And if the BJP comes back with 132, 127 is the highest they got in 2002. 20 years later to come back with one better than that, you got to give it to them.
Well, we're waiting for the Axis Gujarat number. We've got another one, the person who was the outlier in 2014. Today's Chanakya. So Chanakya has come down and they have given their numbers. Let's look, and these are numbers for Himachal. So the today's Chanakya numbers for Himachal, these are the numbers. It says that the BJP will be at 33, AAP will be at 33, and beg your pardon, Congress will be at 33, AAP is at 0, and there are 2 others. So whoever breaks those 2 others forms government. It's hung 33. So today's Chanakya is saying again one more rivaj will be bucked. That jo jeetega wo hands down jeetega. That's what happens in Himachal. You vote one way or the other. That's not happening. It's 50-50. Advaita Kala, if you're still with us, we're going to check. Otherwise, Maria Shakil, is this possible? 50-50.
No, I'm pretty sure, Anand, that the voters aren't confused anymore. If you
This
look
is a
at
hung
multiple
assembly.
elections,
I don't think there'll be a hung assembly.
in multiple elections, Aka, it has shown the voters vote very decisively. If they want to vote out a government, they will vote. If they want to continue with the same government status ko chahiye, to phir bhi unhi ko wapas layenge, perhaps with a bigger number. So it's very clear. I think hung assembly situation is long gone.
Long gone, but we just put it out there on the Election News Center. One more outlier. Let's call it the outlier because it's the only person who's saying that it could get stuck, phas jayega mamla. And that too, it will be too close to call. Himachal is too close to call because today's Chanakya has turned around and said that the BJP and the Congress will be tied at 33 seats. 33 seats for the BJP and the Congress, with 2 going to the others. And will those 2 decide? We'll have to see whether or not. So Himachal, a tight fight, says Chanakya. Congress forming government, says Axis. Rest of the pollsters say BJP in pole position and very comfortable. So let's look at the multi-poll of polls of Himachal and how it changes. How does the scenario change now that we've got Chanakya's numbers in? Now do those numbers get a little disarray? 35 is the majority number, 34 is the halfway mark. The BJP, amidst most of the pollsters, is forming the government. One pollster says it's Congress, another says ye phas jayega mamla, and it will be the 2 independents who would perhaps decide, or the 2 others who would decide. AAP not breaching, not making an impact in Himachal largely, will not open with score, not get onto the leaderboard. But the Congress, there are 2 pollsters who believe that the Congress may just still have a chance. They may just continue to maintain the rivaj that is there in Himachal. कि एक बार कांग्रेस, अगली बार बीजेपी. तो बीजेपी की तो सरकार हो गई, अगला अब कांग्रेस की बारी. वीरभद्र सिंह is no longer there, but his wife Pratibha Singh is there. Will the sentiment work? Will the strategy, curated strategy, or is it largely anti-incumbency and certain key local issues that will come into play? The BJP, meanwhile, believes it's in the bag. That's what they believe. It's in the bag. A lot of the pollsters believe it's in the bag for the BJP. But this is how things stand. Does that change? Our own poll of polls, News18 poll of polls, maybe by 1 or 2 seats, but that still gives the number to the BJP above the majority mark. 38 said it'll come down to 36 or 37.
Yeah, I think it was 36-29. It'll be thereabouts. I don't see this, because he's given a hung verdict, I don't think that will change the poll of poll. But like I said, for me, in the Himachal number, there are 2 outliers. One, of course, is the today's Chanakya one, which is the hung assembly, the only one who's predicting that. And like we've seen, I was just trying to think which is the last assembly we saw which was hung. I think you have to go all the way back to Karnataka the last time. Then the JDS and the Congress came together to form the government. No party crossed the halfway mark. Even in Madhya Pradesh, which is a very, very close election in 2018, Kamal Nath still managed to form the government. They just scraped through, I think, 1 or 2 seat majority they had. And then, of course, they won that state. But the other outlier, of course, is Axis, who's saying, in fact, he's the only poll who's saying that the Congress will win, the BJP will lose. All other polls, and there are 5 of them, are all saying BJP will win. That's Jan Ki Baat, P-Mark, ETG, Matriz and Z. All 5 of them saying that BJP will win, Congress will be in opposition. In fact, the poll of poll numbers also could have gotten slightly skewed because of this Axis number, because of Axis being an outlier number. But otherwise, I suspect that all the polls are giving this state to the BJP. The Congress is not in pole position as far as Himachal Pradesh is concerned. But let's also pay attention to this others figure, and I think this is where the election will be decided, or at least pollsters find it very difficult to measure this figure. I think the big difference in the Axis number and the other numbers is that he's giving a much higher figure for the others, or the independents, the rebels who didn't get tickets, who were contesting his independence. He's giving a much higher figure than everyone else. Aam Aadmi Party, most of them are giving 0, 0 to 1. But this figure is what is making the difference in the Axis number and the other polls. If anyone gets this right, if the number of independents who come back is at 6 or 7 or 5, then the chances of this verdict is entirely possible. But if this number is closer to 0, 1, 2, then I don't think the BJP should have any problem. If you go back,
so far, most of the pollsters have largely stuck to the trend that BJP is retaining Himachal, and BJP is also getting into the higher 130s, early 140s. There are certain pollsters which we've not put here, who are on other channels and regional channels, who are making their own predictions, and they're all giving the BJP a 135 plus number.
Correct.
Now that's what they're looking at as far as Gujarat is concerned. In Himachal, somewhere it's very difficult to believe that Himachal would vote hung, especially in a two-party race. Unless a third player comes and becomes very active and diffuses it and pulls away about 15% of the vote share, you won't get a scenario. And AAP has not done that kind of legwork.
No, it's not. In
Rashid
fact,
Kidwai is with us. Yeah,
like I said, Kejriwal hardly ever went to Himachal, and it's showing in the numbers also. Most of them are saying 0. Most of them are saying 0, maybe 1 if they're lucky, or 2. But therefore, it is still primarily a fight between the BJP and the Congress. Like I said, 1, 2, 3 and another 2 here. So 5 out of 6 surveys are saying BJP will win, or at least will be within striking distance of winning. Only 1, which is Axis, saying that Congress will be in pole position. And to my mind, I think the reason why he has become the outlier in this case is because he's given a much higher share to the rebels. If he gets this figure wrong, then his entire poll will be wrong. Whereas the others have given a far more conservative number to the rebels, the independents who may win, and that I think is making the difference to these numbers. And of course, in a small state, that is very, very hard to predict.
But that 10 to 12% vote share, if it has been pulled up by the Aam Aadmi Party, it also helps the cause of the BJP. Not that we don't know who they're pulling the votes from, but you would say it would be anti-incumbency vote that is going through to the Aam Aadmi Party, because they don't believe in the Congress. They look at AAP as an option. Rashid Kidwai is still with us. We should have Nirva Mehta of Op India also joining us. Rashid Kidwai, Himachal, do you think it could be a tight fight? It could be hung? Is that a scenario?
I think, Anand, as it happened in Haryana, if there is hung house, then the BJP will form, will continue to stay in power. Because in order to Congress to form a government there, it has to have, 40 seats, something like that or more. Because we know that, the BJP is not known to, give up power easily. We have seen it in Goa, in Manipur, in numerous states. I can go on giving that example without prejudice, of course. But so I am saying if it's hung house, then it's BJP government.
But in Gujarat, are you inclined to believe that agar 135 ka number cross kar raha hai BJP, if they are getting close to more than about 52-53% vote share, then they'll run away with the seats, run away with this election? It'll be a landslide?
I believe the Axis number is out.
Axis number is out.
I think I've been proven right. It's on the higher side. We'll get the exact figures. As of now, this is how Gujarat stacks up. Like I said, the highest figure that's been given so far is 148, which is the P mark survey. The Axis number, I'm told, is higher than 148. It's 150 plus.
150 par to hona hi tha.
Yes.
150 par hona hi tha. Ho gaya. That's what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the numbers. I'm going to move and then let's quickly call out Alexa, put out the number. There you go. 129. That's again best ever for the BJP. Lower median. Highest is 150 par, ladies and gentlemen. So the Axis polls have looked at the trend and perhaps taken that trend further, saying, agar sari vote BJP ko pad rahi hai, there is massive pro-incumbency, then 150 par is possible. If you cross 130 or if you're getting to the 130 mark, you can run away with this election. And look, who are they pinching? That's surprising. They are actually pinching the Congress, and the Congress is being pinched and squeezed from two ends, the BJP and also the Aam Aadmi Party, with whom they are giving them a significant number of seats, 9 to 21 seats for the Aam Aadmi Party. And this would be largely in Saurashtra and South Gujarat region, where they would have got these seats if Axis were to be believed. So the BJP runs away with the election, the AAP then gets closer to the Congress party, and of course will then try and say, I am the better option than the Congress party, not just in Gujarat but nationally. So they get to spin a narrative and a story.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
suddenly from a two-state party, they become a national party out of 2024.
Most importantly, I mean, if the Axis number holds, it's not just the BJP could breach 150. That in itself is a huge story, an incredible story, no doubt about it. Even at the lower end, 129, like you were saying, it's the highest performance ever that the BJP would have had in its three-decade rule. But the story is also between the Congress and the AAP. As per the Axis number, if Congress gets the lower end at 16 and the Aam Aadmi Party gets the higher end at 21, then the Aam Aadmi Party becomes the principal opposition. It will have higher seats than the Congress. Again, at the lower end, the Aam Aadmi Party will have 9, and at the higher end, the Congress will have 31. I think, like you said, Congress is getting hit from both above and below. It's getting hit by the BJP and it's getting hit by the Aam Aadmi Party. Again, my own sense is maybe he's overestimating the AAP factor, maybe slightly underestimating the Congress, because no other poll is giving 9 to 21 for the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. Like I said, the highest we've seen is 13. 13 to 21, that's a difference of almost 8 seats, 9 seats. And I think that will also be a factor to watch out for. On that will depend whether it is going to be dead so far. But like I said, Axis tends to sort of err on the side of the party that is perceived to be winning. In this case, everyone was saying, reporters who went there, analysts, everyone was saying the BJP was winning. It's just a question of margins. If they come back with 150, that is incredible. That is a record-breaking margin, because nowhere in the history of Gujarat has any party managed to breach 150.
Well, we got more numbers coming through before we put out the overall Gujarat poll of polls there on Alexa, on that beautiful wall there with the Axis numbers also in. This is something which is interesting. Let's look at the Sea Voter survey. Sea Voter has also come out and now said that the BJP will get between 128 to 140. So everybody's sticking to that median. The Congress 31 to 43, AAP 3 to 11. So if you were to go by what Axis says, with the BJP clearly breaching that 140 mark, running away with that election, that's what the trend looks like. The 9 to 21 seats for the Aam Aadmi Party may just turn around and it become translate to about 9 to 10 seats for the AAP, and the remaining going into the Congress Party, which traditionally seems to be holding on to at least 40 seats. So that is something which is possible. So Sea Voter survey also says 128 to 40. 128 is also best ever for the BJP, because 127 in 2002 is their highest. So there are 3 pollsters now who have said that the lowest median also is the BJP's best ever. And the higher end, it could turn out to be any party's best ever. 149 is the number to break Madhav Singh Solanki in 1985. But let's look at the overall poll of polls and how does it stack up with Sea Voter in the mix and also Axis India in the mix as far as Gujarat is concerned. 182 seats, 92 to win, and the BJP lowest is 117. The highest is 151. That's the number that Axis India has come out and put. And on the other hand, you would have the Congress with 30 seats at the lowest and 16 actually. Now it is 16 at the lowest end. And then highest would be 51 seats. That would be the number. Yes, Axis My India, that is 129 to 151. The one is missing there. We just mind that number there. And also 9 to 21 for the Aam Aadmi Party, says Axis My India, which could be perhaps an outlier in this case. Nirva Mehta is also with us. Nirva, agar 135 par to 150 par. That's what somebody told me as we were doing the poll of polls. Axis says that 150 mark could be breached. It could be the never before all-time number in Gujarat. Most of the pollsters say it's a hands-down victory for the BJP. Which is the story that you're looking out? The slide of the Congress Party, silent rise of the AAP, or perhaps the phenomenal performance of the BJP more than 2.5 decades in power?
I think it's the phenomenal, performance of the BJP. Despite so, this will be the first election when they will win such huge margin after Narendra Modi came to Delhi as the Prime Minister. So a huge win for the BJP if the exit polls hold true. That they crossed the highest ever when the state voted for BJP as Narendra Modi as the Chief Minister. On the other hand, it is so Gujarat has traditionally been a two-party state, right? So it has always been either the BJP or the Congress. Kind of sad to see the Congress being reduced to such irrelevance in the state, considering at one point it was such a strong Congress hold under the rule of Madhav Singh Solanki and everything. So it's kind of sad to see that there is no strong leadership, no strong opposition, including Shankar Singh Waghela, who at one point was a very, very strong opponent to Narendra Modi. So that is kind of sad. Having said that, it is actually quite shocking to see Aam Aadmi Party being projected in double digits also in some exit polls. Because in our internal team meet, we thought that Aam Aadmi Party and AIMIM would totally probably not even cross a five number figure, you know.
So what is your internal number?
We actually thought that BJP might somehow come reach between 115 to 125. I was being very, very conservative with the numbers because, you know, generally 2017 ghosts have still not gone. Having said that, Aam Aadmi Party and AIMIM, we really thought they would be probably wrapped up in under 5 seats total.
Under 5 seats. We've got Shazia Ilmi joining us. Namaste, Shazia ji. Axis India says 150 par. A lot of the pollsters are saying 127 par at least in Gujarat.
First of all, I'd like to say that this is, yes, Anand and Zaka, great to be here. I think it's phenomenal. We were looking at what, 27 years of incumbency. And just look at these numbers. So numbers speak for themselves. I mean, even if they were not to my liking, I would not discredit the opinion polls ever. I've never done that. But this says a lot, really. And I would go with these numbers. And I think all the surveys, not just yours, but everyone else seems to sway that way. So I think it's just not the mere swaying of the voter, but it just goes on to say the immense respect for the work, for the leadership of our Prime Minister and you know, the party itself, the cadres, and that this is good stuff. Also, I would like to say that I've been saying this for the longest period. I've been saying it for the longest period that Aam Aadmi Party, there's such a lot of talk of that party and you know, that comes in. But I think it just goes on to say that whether it's Delhi or Punjab, if somebody is going to be dislodged from its original place, so to speak, it would be the Congress. So whether it's the voters, whether it's the constituencies or constituents, it just goes on to say that Aam Aadmi Party is just busy gobbling up Congress and others, and the voter of BJP remains staunch and steadfast as it does.
Exit polls we have not covered here, but they largely show that it's AAP is gobbling up the BJP in the municipal body elections in Delhi.
No, if you see even the earlier Vidhan Sabha result, which resulted in a phenomenal victory for Aam Aadmi Party with all those seats, you would realize that the vote share of BJP not just remained the same, it's actually increased to 0.1%. So it is actually the total debacle which Congress now stands for and the complete defeat of the party, and you know that it just kind of.
So you believe that the Congress will be cannibalized by the Aam Aadmi Party
so
in Himachal?
I don't think it's a function of, I don't think it's, Himachal for instance, I mean look at Himachal. Himachal is right next to Punjab. If there's one place, you know, the governance model of Aam Aadmi Party would have resonated, it would have been in Himachal. After all, there are 4, you know, areas which are totally directly contiguously linked with Himachal. And what happened there? So, you know, people talk and this is governance and this is Punjab and you know what's happening there. So they have yet to prove that they will be a viable option for any proper
So you're saying that the Delhi model will fail against the
mark.
Gujarat model, the Delhi model or the Kejriwal model will fail against the Modi model, even in the polls to come and at the national level. I don't even think we should be comparing the two, because Gujarat model is for everybody to see, and we're looking at years and years of reliability and performance. But there are two pollsters who are not giving you government in Himachal.
Everybody sees what's happening.
There are two pollsters
it's
who are
unraveling itself, you know, Anand.
There are two pollsters who are not giving you government in Himachal.
Well,
they're saying it will be the Congress.
Well, we were talking about AAP earlier, so now let's go to Congress. Again, I'm sure BJP will win. It'll pull an Uttarakhand over there. But even those who doubt BJP's victory, I mean, after all, we're looking at a state which has never, where not a single party has ever come back after having been there. So it has been sworn to anti-incumbency. To even say that not only are we in the reckoning, we are actually making the government, it says a lot for the Gujarat model and Prime Minister Modi and his leadership, which is there for in every state.
I've got Zaka with me here on the wall, you know? with the numbers, and we've been trying to make sense of the numbers. But one of the questions that you look turn around when you look at Gujarat itself is that how long is it going to be Modi hai to mumkin hai? Can the BJP win elections with the Prime Minister concentrating energies elsewhere as he's projecting India at the global front? Because the PM has spent 25 days. Does he need to spend 25 days in Gujarat to ensure this number?
Well, you know, it's a double-edged sword, that argument. I mean, nobody stopped Rahul Gandhi from spending 25 days in Gujarat. I just want to go back to the numbers. If you look at it, you know, Anand, the lower end again is just 117. That is 10 short of their all-time record high, 127 as you've been saying. But I think 148, 151 is the axis number, 148 is the higher end of the PMark number, and also C voter, the lower end is 128. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 surveys out of 6 that are saying that even at the lower end, it's not just the BJP winning, but winning with the biggest margin that they have seen. And of course, at the higher end, if they get to 150, like I said, that is record breaking. Madhav Singh Solanki came to 149. No party in the history of Gujarat has got 150 seats. If the BJP manages to breach that, and mind you, that's where they started. If you go back a whole year ago, Amit Shah said 150 par. Of course, they had recalibrated that in the last few weeks of the election. But if they get to 150, which one exit pollster is predicting, then that will be a record in itself. The story is also for the Congress party. Remember, both axes at the lower end is saying 16. If the Congress gets the lower end of the axis survey at 16 and the Aam Aadmi party gets the higher end of that survey at 21, then you're seeing a tectonic shift in opposition politics in the state of Gujarat. I don't think we're there yet. I think the axis number is underestimating the Congress and overestimating the Aam Aadmi party. But even in the C voter number, it's 31 to 43 for Congress and 3 to 11 for the Aam Aadmi party. My own suspicion, and I tend to agree with one of the panelists who said, I think the Aam Aadmi party would be in single digits. I don't think they will get to double digits in Gujarat. And if they are in single digits, then the Congress would be in the 30 to 40 range. And even at that 30 to 40, I mean, you need to ask yourself, why is it that a party which has been out of power for the last 25 years, at its worst, was still getting 38% vote share and still getting a minimum of 40 seats? This time, they would have breached that floor. That floor of 40 seats, they would have gone below that. And I think that question definitely needs to be asked to the Congress party.
Shri Rashid Kidwai, please tell me, 77 से 92 का रास्ता easy है या 99 से 140 का?
I think it's a very commendable part on the on BJP's part to increasing its tally if it happens on 8th of December. The Congress story is a one of very kind of utter failure as far as Gujarat is concerned. Forget about the national leadership, even the state leadership has not been able to retain its hold, because even after defections and all that Zaka was saying, they had 60 MLAs, and if there is incumbency for spread over 27 years, the Congress was expected to do better. At least 50 was, even in the Congress circle there was a benchmark of 50 seats or more. Now, if they fall below, then I think it's going to expose the entire leadership. As I said, central leadership, Gandhi's, Kharge, and of course the Gujarat Congress unit.
Right. If they can't retain Himachal, or I beg your pardon, if they can't win Himachal, and if they cannot improve upon their performance from the last time around and be significant, turn out a significant performance in Gujarat, clearly then you have a serious problem. And if the axis position holds in Gujarat, that BJP crosses 150 and the AAP gets into double digit, then it's serious embarrassment for the Congress party. Nirva Mehta is with us. Nirva.
Absolutely. Anand, and it's going to be a very poor reflection on Bharat Jodo Yatra. I mean, Rahul Gandhi is talking about all of these things, but after all, he is part of, if not ahead of a political party whose job is to win elections. And if they're not winning elections, then what is the point of having this Bharat Jodo Yatra?
No, the other aspect is many, if they are turning around and saying, you stay away, we'll win it, then it's a serious problem then. The other thing is, if he stays away and they lose it, then again you have a serious problem. So it's like Chitmay Jeeta Pat Tum Hare kind of a scenario. As far as the Congress party is concerned, Nirva Mehta is with us, Shazia Almi is with us. Nirva Mehta, let's call it. How much of the BJP's performance in Gujarat is PM Modi, and how much of it is the BJP and its organizational machinery? If you were to take PM Modi out of the equation, will the BJP be even able to retain 99? Will they be able to even breach 92?
Yes, BJP would still win Gujarat even with PM Modi out of the picture. But you cannot deny the Modi factor in the voting pattern. People still are voting for Modi. वो कहते हैं ना कि मोदी जी के नाम पे ही वोट गिरते हैं, तो वो they really by next elections they really need to pull up their socks and have a second layer of very strong leadership to make sure that whether Modi or not, if they want to retain Gujarat, because see, right in front of them they have the example of Congress, which has been disseminated to nothingness. It has been reduced to such irrelevance in the state, which is unfortunate because democracy needs a strong opposition. Without having the opposition to keep the ruling party accountable, it also defeats the purpose, right? So for Congress also needs to be very strong here. Having said that, if BJP learns its lessons from the loss of Congress in Gujarat, they will make sure that their second rung of leadership will be very strong in the coming years.
Well, Shazia Almi, how would you want to respond to this? How long will Prime Minister Narendra Modi spearhead the BJP's efforts? And even the cabinet reshuffle was spearheaded from the PMO. So how much of an influence is PM Modi and how much of it is the BJP's organizational machinery and their local candidates?
I will never like to repeat the words of Mr. Barwa, who said India is Indra and Indra is India. But to disassociate a Prime Minister's name, Pradhan Sevak as he calls himself, with BJP itself and make it, I think it's not the wisest thing to do, or doesn't make sense in any way, because it is his vision and his policies that are implemented in every state. And after all, this is the blueprint that he stands for. There is something that Prime Minister Modi represents. And it's exactly that vision that is implemented in the actual implementation of all the schemes, at the from the center to the state at various levels. And we keep forgetting, while we talk about BJP and Prime Minister and other leaders, we forget a very big word, and that word is Labharti, the beneficiary. We're not talking about the number of colleges increasing from 21 to 103. We're not even, let's start talking about it. Let's dissect it further. Let's go into North Gujarat, Kutch and other parts and see what does Har Ghar Jal means to them and what has happened. So I think a lot has to be done with what people actually are getting and the actual delivery of all that is promised.
No, but is that delivery translating into votes, or is the BJP machinery having to make calls, thousands of calls, to ensure that the voter comes out to vote? So that's where I'm asking you the question. The other thing is, yes, there is delivery which has happened, but can this delivery sustain without Prime Minister Narendra Modi's efforts, the kind of effort that he's put in? 25 days, so many road shows, hours and hours of camping in Gujarat. That's where I'm asking you this question. As a Sangathan, where is the Sangathan Shakti here, and where is the performance of the local leaders? A lot of anti-incumbency has been overridden because of the Modi factor. If these numbers were to hold, and I'm sure we can be candid, I'm just being very forthright that you cannot rely only on one man. The captain is only as good as the team. The captain can carry the team only to a certain extent.
Yes, but if the lotus is blooming, and there is a reason for that, right? And if you look at the Prime Minister's presence there, it is backed by a committed leadership. It is committed to a larger blueprint. It is committed to a huge vision that BJP stands for, and Prime Minister proposes and ensures that it gets executed. So it's a you can't take out one factor and say that this must be it. If we analyze it, we can just keep on analyzing it till the cows come home. But the fact of the matter is that it is, after all, the overall package and overall offering to the people of India that the brand Modi brings to the table. And that includes everything. That includes the beneficiaries, that includes the Yojanas, also a committed manifesto and a commitment. Now let's look at some other new players. They seem to be taking the place and cocking a snook at the whole idea of index of opposition unity. But more on that later. You just see whether it's all the policies and what has BJP stood for and what does Prime Minister represent. I don't think there's any... you can divorce any factor at all from, so it's not really mutually exclusive of each other.
No,
I think it works
it's
together
not mutually
in tandem.
exclusive, but
And
one is becoming,
the
the simple question is, on ground, if there are candidates who are being sent back by voters saying that PM aane do, Modi aayenge, tab hum dekhenge, tum jao, then you have a problem. If there are candidates who cannot win a constituency by their own, but they need support from star campaigners or from people who have got their own aura, then we have a problem. And this is something which the Sangathan has to take serious cognizance of. What was the reason why you had to change the entire cabinet 18 months into before the polls? These are all questions, these are issues which are real and which are there on ground, notwithstanding the magic of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's quickly look at the numbers that have come through for Gujarat from the exit pollsters so far. Let's look at the first number is Jan Ki Baat. So Jan Ki Baat says 117 to 140. 99 was the score the last time around. The slide, the number to look for, along with, of course, the BJP's astounding performance, is the slide of the Congress party and the rise of the Aam Aadmi party in Gujarat. Too much to digest, too hard to believe, or perhaps one would wonder, what is this party doing? The principal opposition party in Gujarat for 2.5 decades, is it withering away? That's the big question. Let's look at the TV9 survey. TV9 survey says Congress still has a base which would give them at least 40 to 50 seats. Why aren't they consolidating on that is a question everybody's asking. But the BJP, look at that. The journey from less than 100, one short of 100, to 130. That's what they will traverse, is what the TV9 survey says. Sea Voter survey says not just 130, they can breach the 140 mark. They can get up to 140. Phenomenal performance if this were to happen. Nearly 41 seats if they have to win. It's not an easy deal. They have done that. That's what Sea Voter says they will do it. Access My India says, beyond 150, this is a record. That's the higher number. The lower number is also a record for the BJP because it's their best ever. But look at where it shows the Congress will slip from 77 down to just 16 or maybe till 30. 47 seats down. Wow. That's a story in itself. P-mark. 148 is the higher number for the BJP. The higher number for the Congress is 40. The AAP could get into double digits. A story within the story. Is there a voter there looking for a credible, strong opposition as an option? That's the big question. ETG survey says 131 for the BJP, 41 for the Congress party, 6 for the AAP, 4 for others. And look at the disparity. Look at the difference between 2017 and this time around. And thereafter, the News18 poll of polls. The News18 poll of polls says, as of now, based on the exit polls, the BJP is set to do its best ever performance with an average of 134 seats out of 182. The Congress perhaps its lowest ever at 37, up getting onto the leaderboard. So this is the big question, this is the big setup right now, the story that comes. Let's look at the entire the table here on this big dome, the Alexa dome right here. Look at these numbers, how they stack up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pollsters say the lowest median or the median for the BJP will be around the 125 number. There are 4 pollsters, as Zaka mentioned, who are saying this could be the BJP's best ever performance individually as a political party. There is 1 pollster that says it will be the best ever performance by any political party. It's a case study. It will be a miracle if the BJP gets to 135 plus, ladies and gentlemen, with remaining 2.5 decades in power. That's a huge story to tell, and that's a huge narrative to build ahead of Lok Sabha 2024, where Zaka, they've actually set the goal of 333 seats. They did that a day after they won in 2019. So if this is how they're going to set the tone, then the issue is there is a voter there looking for a credible opposition and not finding it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is entire Congress party, particularly in a state like Gujarat, because they were the principal opposition party there. 77 seats last time. Yes, you can say a lot of it was because of the Patidar agitation. There was the farmers' unrest in the rural parts. All of that given, yes. But even at that, to come down from 77 to, the lower end, the lowest end is 16 and the highest end is 51. To come down 27 seats, that is not something that the Congress party will be proud of. But just a number on the BJP. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in fact 4 surveys. That's PMark. You have ETG survey, you have Access My India and C Voter. 4 out of these 6 surveys who are saying even at the lower end, 128, 129, 128, even at the lower end, the BJP will be breaching the 127 mark, which is what they got in 2002. And if you go back and look at what Home Minister Amit Shah has been saying, others have been saying, that they will break all the records of the BJP seen in previous elections. So 4 out of 6 surveys are saying that the BJP is well on course to do that even at the lower end. At the higher end, one survey saying 148, which would be just one shot of the best ever performance by any political party in the history of Gujarat. And at 151, which is the highest end of this range given by one pollster, Axis, that would be absolutely record-breaking as far as Gujarat is concerned. Because like we've been saying, 149 by Madhav Singh Solanki, the whole calm election, as it was called, Kshatriya, Harijan, Adivasi, Muslim, it created a whole vote bank for the Congress party. But the BJP would have breached that. They have created their own vote bank, their own system in Gujarat, their own voter in Gujarat. And I agree with you, Anand. If the AAP, and this is where I think pollsters are getting it wrong, particularly Access My India, if AAP gets double digits, anywhere between 10 to 21, then clearly there is a substantial voter in Gujarat, particularly those who voted for the Congress party in the previous election, who are saying, I'm not happy with your performance as the opposition, you're not holding the government to account, therefore I'm going to look for a new opposition party. I think that would be a story in itself. But like I said, my view conservatively is that the AAP will still be in single digits in Gujarat.
Now, in this case also, if you look at the overall medians of the Congress party, interesting, Nirva Mehta is also watching this, so is Shazia Ilmi and Rashid Kidwai. Is this overall scores of the Congress also perhaps their lowest ever?
Oh, absolutely.
Have they ever gone below 50?
They have not come down below 40 seats. And
40
I think
seats.
that is a big, big thing. If the BJP is breaching its ceiling, which is 127, and the Congress is breaching its floor, which is 40, then there is a problem.
Yeah.
There is a very, very serious problem. As people were saying, in the run-up to the poll, this is almost an identity fight for the Congress, an existential fight for the Congress party. And I'm sorry, but below 40 in an assembly of 180, you are as good as, not surviving.
State after state, it's been typed as existential fights, but then Chhattisgarh happens, Rajasthan happens, and then there is this entire semblance of belief that no, all is not lost. But in Gujarat, where you had a set base of at least 40 to 50 seats and a set base of 38 to 40% vote share, if you are going to see these numbers, we have a problem. Let's shift focus to Himachal. We have Pratibha Singh, Congress President, Himachal Pradesh, with us. Pratibha ji, namaste. Thank you very much for joining us. अभी तक जो pollsters कह रहे हैं, प्रतिभा जी, जो exit pollsters, आपको क्या लगता है? आप उन नंबर से खुश हैं? We'll just try and connect with Pratibha Singh of the Congress party, Himachal Pradesh. She is the one challenging Veerbhadra Singh's wife, and she will be the one who actually, while speaking with News18, had said that the Congress is firmly placed to win nearly 45 seats. So do very, very well, and it's the Congress party that's forming the government in Himachal Pradesh. Rashid Kidwai, if as two pollsters are predicting, if Congress forms the government in Himachal Pradesh, will then Gujarat become a blind spot for the Congress party? Will they then look away from what's happening in Gujarat and then just talk about and then focus only on their victory in Congress, in Himachal?
Anand, Congress tends to have this ostrich-like approach when they, if they're able to win Himachal, then they will consider it as a big victory and whatever happens in Gujarat, they'll try to put it, bury it under the carpet. But you know, in many states it happened when there is a kind of the decline of Congress and emergence of a third party, in this case Aam Aadmi Party, then the Congress tends to lose in the long run, whether it was Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party, Delhi Aam Aadmi Party, Bengal Trinamool Congress, Andhra Jagan Mohan Reddy's party, Telangana TRS, wherever there is the emergence of third party, it tends to be at the expense of the Congress. And perhaps if this kind of thing happens, if there is a really, you know, AAP manages to get more than 10 assembly seats in Gujarat, this will become a trend in there also. So I think you know, Congress needs to take a holistic view rather than just gloating over, if at all they are able to win Himachal Pradesh.
Now, how do they fix this, Rashid Kidwai? Let's get into it a little. How do they fix this? Because a lot of them say, let's keep the top leaders away, national faces away, local leaders, local issues, we'll do it that way. That's not working. The moment the national leaders come in there, that is also not working.
So, Anand, I want to ask you, for instance, in Madhya Pradesh, you have, I mean, the Congress party has Kamal Nath, has Digvijay Singh. In Rajasthan, they have Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot and many other states. Can you tell me, you know, the 5 leaders or 3 leaders of consequences from Gujarat? So there was, as long as Mr. Ahmed Patel was there, the entire Congress politics revolved around him. And after that, there is a huge blank. So there is a, I mean, Mr. Kharge is not effective, perhaps Rahul Gandhi is not effective, and there is no state
No, they tried various options. They tried Shakti Singh Goel. After that, then they tried Hardik Patel. Then they tried Alpesh Thakur. They tried a lot of people. They just did not get. So won't you want to fix your organization, get your organization right? Nirva Mehta, what is it that you heard about because there is a Congress voter base in Gujarat.
The Congress has a very strong voter base in Gujarat, very, very loyal voter base, which is why when I see the seats reduced to 35 to 50, under 50, under 40, it's very sad. But I very clearly remember, so I have lived all my life in Gujarat and Ahmedabad. I just moved to Delhi 5 years back. But in 2007, if I'm not wrong, after the elections, there were 4 Congress CM candidates, Siddharth Patel, Shakti Singh Gohil, Bharat Singh Solanki and Arjun Modvadia. These were the 4 possible names, if I'm not wrong. And very clearly, all 4 of them lost their seats. There was a very iconic picture in Gujarat Samachar at the back, and the last page, where all 4 of them are sitting with their heads bowed down, and that, you know, all 4 had lost their seats. So when
Nirva, just give me a minute. We have Pratibha Singh, the Congress president of Himachal Pradesh. Pratibha ji, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. ये जो रुझान जो आए हैं एग्जिट पोलस्टर्स का, 6 में से 4 पोलस्टर्स ये कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी वापस आएगी और 2 पोलस्टर्स ऐसे हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि हिमाचल प्रदेश में कांग्रेस की आने की संभावना है. आपकी पहली प्रतिक्रिया मैं चाहूँगा.
देखिए, मैं एग्जिट पोल क्या बोल रहा है उस पर ज़्यादा विश्वास नहीं कर रही. हम लोग धरातल से जुड़े हैं, हमें ज़मीनी स्तर पे पता है कि लोगों का रुझान क्या है, लोग क्या चाहते हैं और लोगों ने किसको वोट किया है और लोगों की उम्मीदें क्या हैं. उसके ऊपर मैं आपको कह सकती हूँ कि ये सारी परिस्थिति को देखते हुए मैं आपको आश्वस्त होकर कहना चाहती हूँ कि कांग्रेस अवश्य जीत कर आएगी और भारी बहुमत से जीत कर आएगी. हम सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं.
ये आप किस बेसिस पर आप ये कह रहे हैं? क्योंकि जैसे मैंने बोला कि 4 पोलस्टर्स कह रहे हैं कि बीजेपी की सरकार वापस आने की संभावना है. सिर्फ एक पोलस्टर ने बोला है कि कांग्रेस आ सकती है और वो भी ऐसा नहीं है कि भारी बहुमत से आपको जिताया है. तो किस चीज की वजह से आप इतने कॉन्फिडेंट हैं?
मैंने आपको कहा ना, अभी मैंने आपको कहा कि I was the party president and I toured each and every nook and corner of Himachal Pradesh. I know कि लोगों के दिल में क्या गुस्सा बीजेपी के प्रति था और लोग ये चाहते थे कि इस बार परिवर्तन होना अवश्य है और उन्होंने कांग्रेस के पक्ष में वोट दिया है. और जो भाजपा से उनकी नाराज़गी थी, एक तो उन्होंने कीमतों को देखकर जो दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ती जा रही है उसके प्रति लोगों का रोष था, जो युवाओं को आपने रोजगार नहीं दिया उसके प्रति रोष था, और बहुत सी वादाएं प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री बनने से पहले जब वो हिमाचल प्रदेश का दौरा कर रहे थे तो उन्होंने कहा था कि 400 रुपए का गैस का सिलेंडर, आप मुझे मौका दें, मैं इसको कम करके आपको आप की आशाओं के मुताबिक चलूंगा। तो इस बार जब वो हिमाचल प्रदेश का दौरा कर रहे थे तो इन्होंने ना महंगाई पे बात की, ना बेरोजगारी पे बात की, ना यहाँ की समस्याओं पे बात की। तो लोगों को बहुत निराशा थी और लोगों ने कहा कि हम लोग ऐसा सोच नहीं सकते थे कि प्रधानमंत्री इतनी बार दौरा कर गए हिमाचल प्रदेश का। पर मुझे लगता है कि यहाँ पर कोई
प्रतिभा जी ये बताइए, लास्ट क्वेश्चन, ये उत्तराखंड में भी हमने देखा कि जो हर 5 साल सरकार बदलती है, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बदलती हैं, ऐसा एक रुझान आया था एग्जिट पोलस्टर्स का, लेकिन जब रिजल्ट आए थे तब उत्तराखंड में क्लियर मेजॉरिटी मिल गया था बीजेपी को। क्या ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो सकता आपके प्रदेश में भी?
नहीं, देखिए उत्तराखंड में क्या हुआ क्या नहीं उसका मुझे ज़्यादा ज्ञान नहीं है, पर जहाँ तक हिमाचल प्रदेश की बात है, वो बार बार बीजेपी की सरकार ये कह रही है कि हमारी डबल इंजन की सरकार है और हम इसको रिवाज को बदलेंगे और इस बात दोबारा से रिपीट करेंगे। पर मेरा ये मानना है कि इस बार कांग्रेस को अवश्य लोग सत्ता में लाएगी और अवश्य हम सरकार बना लेंगे। मैं दावे के साथ इस बात को कह सकती हूँ।
प्रतिभा जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। 8 तारीख को दोबारा आपके साथ मुलाकात होगी और बातचीत होगी। थैंक यू वेरी मच। All right, that was Pratibha saying. Now I believe we have a very special sort of segment. We're bringing back the quadcopter. Let's roll it in.
Absolutely, yes. We got to call that in. So the dome opens. There you go, and slowly the quadcopter sets in. It's that descent, you know. It just feels like you're going down a roller coaster. Your heart just bumps for a bit, and then it just hovers there, and then it settles you down slowly. Bhai sahab, aaram se. Haan. Okay, there you go. See that hover? That's where it settles, and then it rests down slowly. Smooth. That's how. There you go. So let me just get into it now. I did not bang my head. I'm sitting here. Got the controls, and there. Up, and away. Let's go. All right, Zaka, this time around, we're not going to go to Gujarat. We're going to go to another location. I'm going to show you something special. Himachal in the night.
All right, as we await Anand to give us a nice skyline, a bird's eye view of one of the other iconic cities, let me get a quick word in from both Rashid and Nirva. You know, the story, like I said, is not just about how the Congress squandered Gujarat. They had an opportunity. There were issues. It was not like there were no issues in Gujarat. But Rashid, accountability needs to be fixed. A basic question needs to be asked. Rahul Gandhi is in Bharat Jodo. He says disassociate that from vote bank politics or electoral politics. But he just went to Gujarat one day. Compare this to just 2017. He was there throughout the campaign. He started, I think, a Jan Sampark Yatra 3 months before Gujarat went to polls. And we saw, I mean, yes, they lost, but it was the best performance of the Congress in 25 years of the BJP. They got to 77.
Yes, Zaka, I think the Congress story is very complex. The Gandhis, particularly Rahul Gandhi, is trying to disengage himself from electoral politics. I mean, the outcome of electoral politics, such as assembly elections, the 13 elections till 2024, and he thinks that, you know, by not being very active participant, he will be able to save his skin. Now, this tells you what is happening inside the Congress, because here is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's Congress president, but he's not a very effective campaigner outside Karnataka. And this is a real problem, and that is why people are getting very increasingly disillusioned. And I keep saying that I cannot rule out a split in the Congress before 2024.
Okay, we'll see. That's big. If that were to happen, that'll be huge. Let me also bring in senior academic Makran Parajpe, who's joining us. We also have Tushar Gupta from Swarajya Magazine joining us as we await. All right, let's go to Anand first. Anand is now ready to descend, not descend, but take us on that flight over one of India's most iconic cities. Anand.
Well, this is what happens when you combine real with the digital. Here, it's a phenomenal view of the of this iconic hotel in Himachal. That's where we've been able to try and zero in, because it's beautifully lit. And this is where what we will do is call up the numbers here with Alexa, which is how. Let's see how the poll of polls looks. What are the numbers? Who's in pole position to form the government here in Himachal Pradesh based on the mega poll of polls, the exit pollsters. The BJP has an average of 36 seats, so they're just two clear of the halfway mark. It's just 2 seats there that puts them with the full majority to form the government. Will they be comfortable with that, or would they want to pinch the 3 others? We'll have to wait and watch. The Congress is at 29. That's the overall poll of polls numbers. Out of a house of 68, the BJP should have 36, and they should be in a position to form the government in Himachal Pradesh. That's what it looks like, although the Congress party says, don't go by these numbers. We are the ones coming into power because the Rivaj will continue. Sarkar badlegi. The Aam Aadmi Party will not open an account here at all. So no account, they're not there on the leaderboard. It continues to remain a 2-party state, the state of Himachal Pradesh. It's a little chilly thanks to this heater inside the quadcopter. I'm all right, but it's a chilly night sky that we see here in Himachal. Back to you in the studio, Zaka. I'll be back there.
All right, as we await Anand to come back into the studio in his nice, fancy quadcopter, let me bring in our 2 new guests who are joining us at this hour, Makran Paranjpe, and of course, we have Tushar Gupta as well. You know, let me start with you, Dr. Paranjpe, because there's something fascinating. All right, we're waiting for the Chanakya numbers as well. You can see that on the screen. Again, Chanakya is also turning out to be an outlier here. BJP 150, Congress 19, Aam Aadmi Party 11 and others 2. I mean, the BJP's best performance in the last 27 years that it's been in power in Gujarat is 127 that it clocked in the 2002 election. Now, at least 2 pollsters are saying it will cross 150. Something's got to be right there in the state of Gujarat and for the BJP to be bettering its best ever performance.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think they're on a winning ticket in Gujarat. Both the Prime Minister and Home Minister are from Gujarat. And everybody in Gujarat is really proud of the performance of BJP, you know, since 2014 and even earlier when Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. So there is a sense of Gujarati pride, but that's not enough to win elections. What really matters is delivering on development. And I think that anybody who goes to Gujarat has seen that, in a sense, BJP has completely transformed Gujarat. And then let's not forget that the Congress committed a kind of harakiri. They were, as you've been saying, throughout this evening, the principal opposition party, but they're in a complete disarray. And the fact that the Congress still matters is evident in Himachal Pradesh. So Congress is the only party which has on the ground, you know, deep inroads into the political system. But given that, you know, they don't have a vision, they don't have leadership, the leader is Jodoing Bharat, but it doesn't translate into votes, so it doesn't matter. And the new Congress president, Mallikarjun Kharge, is clueless. And I think, obviously, BJP will make hay when the sun shines.
All right, Dr. Paranjpe, give me 1 second, because my colleague Anand is now ready to come back from that beautiful skyline that he was showing. The nightscape of Shimla. Here we go, Anand.
Yes, I can hear you. I could hear Makran Paranjpe and you introducing Tushar too, but it's quite chill, not just in Himachal, but also on the skies of Delhi. Happy to be back in the studios. एक सेकंड के लिए धड़कन रुक जाती है when the hour. आप आराम से सेट करो भाई नीचे मुझे. There you go. Thank you very much. अब मैं उतर रहा हूँ बाहर. Please let me get out. There you go. Oh, next time I need to find a taller one, isn't it? Zaka, so it's interesting how Himachal is shaped up. It's also very, very interesting how Gujarat is shaping up. This number is phenomenal. भाई ये quadcopter को उठा देते हैं वापस. Then otherwise I can't see you, Zaka. Okay, thank you very much, Alexa, and this quadcopter up you go. हाँ बस ठीक है. Thank you. Off it goes. So namaste Tushar ji, namaste Makran ji. As Zaka was saying and as you were saying, there are a lot of people put a lot of effort for a lot of things, but they are not focusing on the one thing that's important, that is winning elections, because this is democracy. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done it, and he continues to understand the importance of going back to the voter and saying, I care, I remember, I delivered, but you remember? That's what he's doing, going back and telling them, Makranji.
Absolutely. And as I said, Gujarat is a success story. And last time it was a kaante ki takkar. I still remember how Amit Shah had camped in in Surat, in fact, swing the elections. It was a very close fight. But this time, as I said, the Congress was in a disarray, demoralized. They have a crisis of leadership. And, the formula that Sonia Gandhi had, where somehow she could appeal to the voters, win elections, and you had a clean enough prime minister in Manmohan Singh, that kind of separation of powers or separation of duties has fallen through in today's Congress. So it's a party which is not able to perform its role as the principal opposition party in India. And as I said, it's in a disarray. But Himachal is interesting because it shows that the Congress is still a force to be reckoned with, as I just said, because they have inroads, in every district in some of these states. And AAP coming up a cropper shows that...
Makranji, they are such an old party that in every state, in every zilla, every taluka, every village, there is a Congressy. But what's the Congress party doing? Tushar, quickly, before we've just got this update, Chanakya has given BJP a whopping 150 seats. So before we go to Tushar Mehta, this is the election center breaking that's coming through. So there's yet another pollster who is given the BJP 150 par, 150 ka number. So this time touching a record number of seats. Chanakya giving BJP a whopping 150. Both these pollsters have taken a few estimates, and the way they are looking at projecting the numbers, you partly tend to agree with the fact that if the BJP is crossing 135 largely, they should get closer to that 150 mark. But would you want to give those kind of numbers to the Aam Aadmi Party at the cost of the Congress? That's another question. So Chanakya giving BJP a whopping 150. Axis also giving BJP a whopping 150. This conversation continues here at CNN News 18, but we've got to take a very, very short break. Makarand Paranspe, Nirva Mehta, thank you very much. Rashid Kidwai, Tushar Mehta, Tushar Gupta, stay on with us. You, the viewer, stay on with us. We'll get you the full breadth of the numbers of our pollsters. What's the News 18 poll of polls? Who's forming or in position as per the exit polls to form government in Gujarat and in Himachal? All of that and more here on your election news center, nerve center, CNN News 18. Stay with us.
Say that after the IFI jury head, the international jury head Nadav Lapid had made those statements at the closing ceremony of IFI in Goa, is when these fresh threats have actually come about for the Kashmiri pundits. Now remember, only yesterday a social media handle which claimed to be operated by Lashkar-e-Toiba had issued open threats to Kashmiri pundits. Preliminary investigation has revealed that the handle is being operated from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and has released a hit list of 56 Kashmiri Pandit government employees that are on their radar. The terror group also added that those being provided safe houses by the government are on the target.
कल जब एक लिस्ट आई 57 की, उस 57 ने हमें दिलाया है, ये 57 ही नहीं है, इसमें मैं समझूं कल को हम पूरे इसमें हो सकते हैं। अभी उन्होंने 57 नहीं डाला, क्या पता कल उसमें मैं भी हूँगा जो लिस्ट में नहीं, कल को मार दिया। हम यहाँ बैठ के गवर्नमेंट से अपनी जान की भीख मांग रहे हैं। हम ये बोलते हैं हमें अटैच किया जाए, अटैच करके जब आपको हालात ठीक होंगे तो हम वापस चले जाएंगे। हम डर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे जान को खतरा है, तो हमारी जान को बख्शा जाए।
यही चीज समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं गवर्नमेंट को 208 दिन से कि यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा हम लोग थ्रेट में हैं, हमारा पल पल थ्रेट में गुजर रहा है, हम वहाँ पे नहीं जा सकते, नहीं अपनी सर्विस दे सकते। हाँ, आप लोग क्या चाहते हैं? अब क्या ऐसी चीज आ जाएगी? मैसेकर होने चाहिए क्या? तब आप लोग मानोगे कि वहाँ के हालात खराब है, कश्मीर के हालात खराब है।
बड़ा चिंताजनक है। पहले से ही सरकार की तरफ से प्रयास तो किए गए हैं, लेकिन जो टारगेट किलिंग पहले भी होती रही, अब उसको फिर से निशाना बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है और खास करके लोगों के नाम देना ये अपने आप में बड़ा शर्मनाक है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बड़ी कार्रवाई करने की जरूरत है ताकि एक डर का माहौल वहां पर पैदा ना हो। पहले भी कुछ कश्मीरी पंडित को लेकर के उनको टारगेट किलिंग्स की गई हैं, तो मुझे लगता है इन सभी विषयों पर चिंता करना स्वाभाविक बात है और चिंता सरकार द्वारा की जानी चाहिए, सुरक्षा बलों द्वारा कड़े एक्शन लिए जाने चाहिए।
Let's break down the story for our viewers. Now, Lashkar-e-Toiba has released a list of 56 Kashmiri pundits who are government employees, saying that they are on their possible target. This list, obviously for the Union Territory government, has been put out. This was put out by a social media handle being operated out of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That released that hit list of 56 Kashmiri pundits. This is the very, very worrying statistics that we are talking about. Taking this across to my colleague Tejinder, who's now joining us on the broadcast. Tejinder, ever since this list has been put out by the social media handle, what really is being done on the ground so that the lives of these pundits who are in constant threat, so to speak, can be dealt with and something can be done so that their fear can be assuaged?
See, the government has taken this list very seriously. They are trying to find out the people who actually released this official document to the terror outfit. This Kashmir Fight blog is being run by TRS, the Resistance Front, which is a frontal of the terror outfit Lashkar-e-Toiba. And if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, a similar threat was issued to journalists working in Kashmir. After that, the Srinagar police registered an FIR and raids were conducted at several locations across Kashmir Valley. So the government here is taking this threat very seriously. Right now, as we speak, the Kashmiri Pandits, they are holding a protest in Jammu, though the protest is going on for the past more than 200 days. These are the Kashmiri Pandits who have been working under the Prime Minister's rehabilitation package in Kashmir Valley, and they have been protesting in Jammu for past more than 200 days, ever since the Kashmiri Pandit Rahul Bhatt was gunned down by terrorists inside his Chadura office in Badgam district. So Kashmiri Pandits have been demanding that they should be relocated to safer places. But after this list has been released by the Kashmir Fights, the Kashmiri Pandits now say that it would be really difficult for them to return to Kashmir Valley and work there when they have to work under constant threat of being killed, because the Kashmir Fight blog has in its post has said that these 56 Kashmiri Pandits are on their target, and more such lists would be released in the coming days.
Mr. Sumit Peer, who is a political analyst, is joining us. Mr. Peer, that actually brings us to this next question. Is all of this that's being done in the name of providing securities to the Pandits, is it enough in the valley, considering these threats continue to rear their ugly head every now and then?
Haji, thank you very much for having me on your show. In fact, ma'am, the quantum of threat has increased. Because look, the new Pakistani army chief is ex-ISI and ex-military intelligence. It's a very unique combo. He, along with Nadeem Anjum, the existing ISI chief, remember when Nadeem Anjum came to his job, few Kashmiri Pandits were killed, he ordered targeted killings. I was predicting that the LOC will heat up and the Kashmir Valley will heat up. That is exactly what is the job of this man. Now this Twitter handle, which talks about that the originates from POK, the origin of the Twitter handle is from POK, that brings to the conclusion that Pakistan is trying to wage a different quantum of war. Low cost, high targeted killings is what is on their issue, on the radar. And the biggest threat, or the biggest person who carries the highest marks on his back, is a Kashmiri Pandit. With this change scenario, the security of the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley will be very, very tough and challenging. It's better they will be moved to Jammu, to a safer place, because you cannot have 5 or 10 PSOs going around with 5,000 people. Well, that is not practically going to help. And this threat is real this time because there's a new man on the job. And he knows what exactly he is doing. You see, yesterday he chose to visit the Kashmir side of the border, not to the Afghanistan of the border, where a lot of trouble is brewing. And he was talking about Ghazi, Ghazwa-i-Hind, and he's some alim of Quran and some literate of Islamic scholars. And he says he believes he's from a clan which is a direct descendant from Prophet Muhammad. With all these things summing up, and we can see the impact of the new chief on the ground. The situation is not good. I think this threat is real. And if they've come up with the names, even if they're able to strike 1 or 2, that will be not a welcome step at all, and we have to prevent it in any way whatsoever.
Mr. Pandit, do you agree with Mr. Peer, considering we have a new army chief in Pakistan, and that's why this threat, an increased amount, and also the the intensity of the threat has increased? Pretty much what happened in the 1990 is what Mr. Peer is talking about. Do you agree?
The threat has always been there, and it is up to them when to open the tap more and when not to. So there may have been different reasons at different times, but we are losing people. We are losing people there because there's a policy paralysis in Delhi. There's a policy paralysis in Kashmir. We have somehow decided to just wait out things and lose the initiative, and always hand over the initiative to the adversary. They decide when to step up the killings and when to hold back. That has been the cat and mouse game played so far, and we are just happy losing lives and do nothing about it. Just as more than 200 days have passed, the PM package employees have been agitating in Jammu. We have pushed them into a death zone, into a killer zone, from where they barely escaped 30 years ago. So a genocide.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you for staying with us here at CNN News 18. If it's elections, it is CNN News 18. Ladies and gentlemen, Himachal had voted, Gujarat has voted, the exit pollsters had collated the numbers, and if these numbers were to stay, then on the 8th of December, the dance of democracy will be in the BJP headquarters, because the BJP looks all set to retain Himachal and also Gujarat with perhaps best ever performance of the party. I'm Anand Narasimhan, and with me is Zaka Jacob in the election studio. And Zaka, as usual, with the magic wall, trying to figure out kahan se jeeti hogi is baar seatein aur kahan se haar gaya hai Congress. We'll talk about all of that, but we've just got some of the numbers coming through. Let's have a quick look. So the latest coming in is the Matrice survey numbers, which is giving the BJP a comfortable majority, much better than the 99 they did in 2017. It's giving the BJP 112 to 121 seats. Congress 51 to 61, so clearly a slide from their 77 the last time around. AAP breaks into the leaderboard with 4 to 7 seats, 1 to 3 to the others. So these are the projections compared to the 2017 results. Let's quickly go through what some of the other pollsters are also saying. So this is Jan Ki Baat, 117 to 140, Congress 34 to 51, AAP